Hello everyone. So I'm gonna say right off the bat, I don't know how long this stream is gonna be. Um, I was gonna try making a video of this, but it did not work out because I wanted to do prologue to tomorrow before I did homecoming wings, because I was gonna do homecoming wings first because I was like, surely you don't have to do it in order. But then it gave me a little notice and said, hey, maybe you want to do everything else before you do this. So the goal for today is to get through all of prologue to tomorrow, get up to the point where we get Caleb, do the event, and then hopefully I don't pass out. I already did one. So I did the first one way back last stream, and I stopped because of my voice. I was losing my voice. But now I am ready once again to venture into this very nice hemisphere. I'll try not to yap as much because I gotta shoot. I gotta go through it. I have to.
With all
There's
this
just like no
fuss,
way.
I thought I'd finally see the real deal, but these were all duds.
While we didn't get an ether core, the mission wasn't a waste of time. We have these modified protocores. The protocol smugglers are taken away, and Simone and I return to the Hunters Association. I'm so sorry that
authorization confirmed.
I stopped for a second.
Everyone.
My door is not very what is the right word? Not very soundproof. I have little soundproofing things. I don't know what they're called. My brain's having a brain fart, but it has residual noise. So if I randomly stop talking at any point, it's because you can pick up other conversations, and I don't want that.
Do your weapons or gear need to be maintained or repaired? Put them on the table. And just between you and me, Hunter's Huntin' is serving a fancy meal tonight. Don't miss out.
Little robot loudly whispers as it almost waddles to the armory with my weapon.
Simone, your gear's suffered some wear and tear lately. Over 65% of it has been damaged in the past 2 weeks. If she didn't help you control your evil, that number would have been higher. 70% at least.
Andrew is glued to his multi-screen setup. The windows flicker to life like a digital butterfly swarm.
Look, if building a powerful weapon turns out to be a mistake, you can punish me. Also, lead Andrew, it's been 2 months already. Are there any signs of that ether core? I can understand why the association hasn't told anyone about this. It can't be about saving face, no?
Alright, check this out.
A rolled up combat uniform lands on the table. We look up to see Jenna walking toward the control desk.
Captain, what's going on?
A weird yet familiar feeling pulls at my chest. I unfold the uniform. There lies a flat, round object I recognize.
It's a hurt knave's head.
Simone wrinkles her nose in disgust. Without missing a beat, she snatches a pen from Andrew's desk and uses it to push the head away. She ignores the look on his face. How could they just leave a head? Where's the protocol? Jenna finishes drinking her water and tears open a package. She takes out a bread roll.
Because there was only the head. It showed up on Faye Street without anything else. The protocore must still be in its body, but who knows where that is.
Without a head.
So, already you can see something's not right here.
It doesn't have a head. Everyone casts their gaze on me. I slowly nod. Why are they all looking at me? I can sense a protocurve. It's similar to the one I brought back from No Hunt Zone number 7 2 months ago, but there's more to it. Is related to the ether core?
Yes, we've detected a large beta protocurve on this head.
That's a new fancy term. Captain, what's a beta protocurve?
Jenna takes a moment to gather herself. She stands up and the control desk flickers a couple of times. A holographic 3D map is projected from it.
Remember that incident last month? It occurred on the 8th at 9 a.m. Lincoln Bridge's main pier disappeared from the river for 20 minutes.
Can that even happen?
And on the 14th at 3 a.m., rainbow mists appeared in Goldwood City. Specifically, they materialized in 6 districts within 4 seconds of one another. Then on the 29th, an incident occurred at 4:30 p.m. An ice cream parlor in the Ring Imperial Center was flipped, and customers on the top floor were trapped in the first floor's freezer.
Oh my god. All this because of a beta protocurve?
The wanderers behind these have one thing in common. The protocurve produced by their protocores are capable of distorting space itself.
Isn't that kind of like Raphael's ability? His artistic ability?
We're calling this unique protocurve a beta protocurve for now.
How did they even get that it was a beta? Rude.
I won't get into the details of the analysis. However, after comparing it with the protocurve produced from the deep space tunnel region that's in the N109 zone.
Oh, so she can say the N109 zone, but I actually have to say the whole thing out?
Our current findings reveal that
Jenna leans forward. She grips the desk to emphasize her words.
an ether core is involved.
I could have told you that for free.
Based on our
Without the
observations
explanation.
of these wanderers, the Intel Department and Advanced Tech Labs predict we'll observe more beta protocurves in the future. That's where new ether cores might appear.
On the map, with Lincoln City at its center, points of interest start appearing. They are potential locations and they're everywhere. Some are even thousands of kilometers away from the city.
Everyone, it's getting dark. Night will fall, and we all know the big guys lurking in Lincoln's shadows are about to make their move.
You know, I thought that's where she was going with it, but I wasn't really sure. Captain Jenna revealed a lot of info today. There's another ether core aside from the one in my heart and the one in Silas's eye. But it could be in any of those locations, and this ether core might be incomplete, similar to how the one in my heart was at first. It will take some time to find the ether core.
Our mission goes beyond just collecting ether cores. We also need to investigate the shady organizations that covet them for their own goals. They're essentially a ticking time bomb. We'll split up for now, but try not to alert the enemy. We don't want to make things worse.
Weird observation, but Jenna has bunny teeth. Just want everyone to know that, just in case you didn't.
Hey, I don't know what you went through in the N109 zone, but
Nothing really happened. I mean, we did almost get shot at. We did almost get murdered. We did almost get crushed. But I mean, like, that's normal stuff on the job, right?
this operation is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't be a hero every 5 seconds. Patience is key.
See, real me would not be a hero. You would never catch me trying to save someone else's skin other than mine if it's, like, not warranted. But me in the game is, she's everywhere. Oh, you're in trouble? Let me help you. I could not be that, no. What would I stand to gain from that? After spitting out my toothpaste, I put down my toothbrush and stare at my reflection in the bathroom mirror. I unearthed some interesting info in the association's archives today. There are also a few loose ends from my time in the N109 zone that need to be addressed. I should first deal with what I can handle right now, so... Oh, nice. Hold for like 3 seconds. Is that what it is? Oh, that's what it is. Okay. We'll go with this one first because it's the first one. We're just going to go in order. From my understanding, this is like Zane's story branch. The sound of footsteps reverberates, a hollow echo upon the marble floor. Looking up, Zane once again sees the familiar silhouette of the girl. In the quiet hospital corridor, its white walls grayish blue and dimly lit by incandescent lights. Only the girl stands bright and resolute. I don't like that in my ear. Never do that again. Yearning to call out to her, yet incapable of making a sound, he has no choice but to quicken his pace. He runs after her. Is this like his nightmare? I feel like this is his nightmare. Yet at that moment, terrifying black crystals erupt from the surrounding walls.
No. Stop.
Without warning, the entire space distorts. Those sharp spikes hurtle towards the girl's throat. Oh, that doesn't sound nice. Panicking, she turns to face him. As their eyes meet, her lips quiver in despair, softly whispering broken, desperate words. Sane? I don't know, I just can't put any weight behind it. I gotta get locked in, you know? I knew it was his nightmare. Inside Oxo's rehabilitation center, Zane suddenly opens his eyes. He's in a sleeping pod, and his unfocused gaze slowly adjusts. Did you have another nightmare?
Yes.
And this is where you hug her. Just let me rest on you for a little bit. That's what he should say, but he can't. See, I may not know much about the underlying story, but I know enough. And you can thank all of the people on other websites for that. Rubbing his temples, he sits up, and his eyes is a reflection of my concerned expression.
Don't worry. Lying down in a large box with eyes staring at me. If I could sleep well with that happening, then you'd actually have something to worry about.
But I was gonna say, wasn't he kind of like sleeping? Hey, I care about you, and what else am I supposed to do? Someone hasn't gotten a good night's sleep ever since he returned from Mount Eternal. He also keeps using nightmares as an excuse. No offense, sweetie, but he kind of is having nightmares. After returning from Mount Eternal 2 months ago, Zane's health hasn't been good. It's gotten to the point where he can't sleep at all. However, he doesn't talk about what happened in the Arctic. This reoccurring nightmare is the only thing he willingly shared with me. You still have a business trip next week. At this rate, the doctor might end up collapsing before his patients.
Even if I collapse, there will always be another doctor to take over. No matter what.
Zane, that's not the kind of flex you think it is. I press my fingers against his lips as a warning. No matter how many doctors there are, they're for other people. My doctor is right here in front of me. Could you imagine having your childhood best friend as your primary care physician? Ugh! Talk about awkward. He's gonna know everything about you.
All right. I'll be careful and stay alive.
Don't let my worries be a burden on you. I think you started having nightmares after I gave you that crystal fragment from the N109 zone. Zane takes his coat from the coat rack beside the wall. Together we enter the corridor.
They aren't connected, so don't overthink it. It's just a coincidence.
It's definitely not a coincidence.
Speaking of which, there's been progress with the analysis of that crystal.
It's definitely connected. Like, I really feel like it's connected and he just doesn't want to tell her. Which is so understandable, but at the same time, please give her some type of something. She's in the dark about all of this. Again, if she does not have the biggest crash out, I'm going to be so disappointed. Is it related to protocore syndrome?
At the moment, I've developed a hypothesis based on the data. I'll share the details with you once there are conclusive results.
Stepping into the elevator, I pressed the button for the ground floor. Zane's reflection appeared on the closed doors, the dark circles under his eyes underlying a deep weariness. Take your time. You should deal with your insomnia first.
Since I can't sleep, I might as well be productive with my time.
So it's not that doctors can't treat themselves, they don't actually want to be treated. I feel like that's so true. People in healthcare will tell you, like, oh my god, take care of your health. Health comes first. But, like, healthcare workers in general don't care about their health. It's sad, but it's very true. Especially doctors. I ordered some milk for you. It'll be delivered to your place and should help you sleep. Also, the hypnotic music.
Are you referring to the lullaby playlist? Did you forget how old I am?
No, but I listen to a lullaby playlist. I listen to the sound of the oceans and the waves, and I'm out like a baby. It actually helps. I'm just trying to help as a normal hunter. You don't have to listen to me, Dr. Zane. Oh, now she's using his credentials. That's how you know she's upset.
Since I am your one and only doctor, I should listen to you.
I don't think that's how that goes, but whatever. We step out of the elevator and my watch begins to ring. Someone's calling me. I gesture to Zane and then move to the side to answer it. Is it Jenna? I was kidding, but I was right. Captain Jenna?
Hey, are you available right now? We've detected beta protocurve activity in a certain location.
After a brief explanation, Captain Jenna quickly ends the call.
Why are you frowning? Did something happen?
My mission got an update. I need to check in with Captain Jenna, so I might not be able to have dinner with you. Just as I'm about to sprint to the hospital's main entrance, a pair of hands land on my shoulder and steers me in a different direction.
Don't run just yet. I'll drive you there.
I don't think I want that. Aren't you like insomniac right now? What if you fall asleep while you're driving? I don't want that. Don't drive when you're sleep deprived. It is not a good idea. It's not great. It will end badly. Trust me. Not from personal experience. Upon arriving at the association, I find Alpha Team's office engulfed in silence. Only Jenna stands before the control desk. Her gaze is fixed on the zoomed in photos that are being projected.
Perfect timing. Let's look at these together.
Do I have to? Is that like a thing? Can I go? She waves her hands and those photos are pushed towards me. Is it me? Am I on the photos? Is someone stalking me? As I approach to get a closer look, it becomes evident that a distant figure appears in every picture. The figure is also marked with conspicuous colors, which shows traces of B protocurve. All of them are from the same wanderer.
Yes, including this morning. Andrew has found its traces 5 times. Beta protocurve activity was detected in every instance.
I was gonna say, like, if it really is pictures of me, I was just kidding. I swear I haven't done this before. I'm just really good at guessing things. That means it's related to an ether core.
It could very well be carrying one, or an ether core fragment.
Or it could be the ether core. Another screen comes into view, showcasing an array of data and information, and position at the center is a blurred image of a wanderer. How did they get these
This wanderer
shots?
can move by distorting space, and we haven't captured a complete image of it yet. However, the Intel department made a discovery. In areas where it did appear, many patients with protocore syndrome have fallen into a coma. Some even go into shock.
You know, when I said in the last one that I feel like Infinity Nikki and Love and Deepspace are connected, I was only half kidding, but now it's kind of starting to be like it really is connected, but just like in different forms. My gaze then falls on the left side of the screen. The text reads, location, Chancia City.
I'll be heading to Chansha City next week. There are a few patients with a severe case of protocore syndrome, so they require Oxo Hospital's assistance for their treatment.
Are you gonna go there? Those patients that Zane mentioned might actually be victims of this wanderer.
Right now, we suspect there's a connection between these two incidents. We could start looking into those patients. And it just so happens that Oxo Hospital will send a medical team to Chansha City next week.
That is true. My doctor told me that. Captain, I would like to make a request. Let me join the medical team as a hunter escort to investigate the wanderer.
Your request has been approved.
I thought
Our
she was going to say
Chansha branch
denied.
has also started its own operation. Your mission is to confirm whether or not there are signs of an ether core. You can contact us anytime if you need help. We'll be there to offer whatever assistance we can.
Understood. I'll be careful. Will she, though? Careful's not her middle name. As I leave the association, Zane's figure appears in the distance. He's been patiently waiting by the road. Just as I'm about to walk over, a massive bouquet of white roses suddenly appears and engulfs my vision. Who the fuck is that?
Miss, I've heard so much about you.
Sorry.
It's an honor to finally meet you in person.
So you're just gonna shove flowers in my face? And you are?
I'm sorry. I almost forgot that this is our first meeting.
Why do I feel like he's a stalker? I don't know, that's just weird. You don't just like put flowers in someone's face that you don't know. You introduce yourself first, say whatever you want to say, and then give them the flowers. We're doing it in the wrong order, and that's concerning to me.
But you should have already received my business card a few days ago, along with the flowers.
What? The man has a gentle gaze as if to be friendly. If to be friendly, which meaning he's not normally friendly, which means you should be wary of men like this. He extends his other hand toward me, and that's when you back up and say, "Don't touch me." I'm sorry, like, this is weird.
I'm Carter, from Xander Sciences.
I recall seeing a business card that had mysteriously appeared on my desk not too long ago. It was accompanied by attention-grabbing deliveries as well. Oh, those were from you?
Thanks to your efforts in apprehending those protocore merchants, Xander Sciences was able to recover a valuable batch of protocores.
So he personally came to see me, to thank me, and he couldn't do that with an email, a card. He had to come see me.
Many patients were saved as a result. Naturally, I wanted to express my gratitude. I wonder if you'll do me the honor of having dinner with me, miss?
Unfortunately for you, I already have dinner plans with the doctor that's literally right behind you.
She already has plans for tonight.
I was kidding, but like, okay. And then that's when you throw the flowers away. 'Cause who are you, impersonator? A hand pushes away the bouquet. Zane then pulls me to his side, and he moves to stand between me and Carter. Upon seeing Zane's face, Carter's expression noticeably darkens. I told you he was weird.
What a coincidence, Zane.
What a coincidence, my ass.
It's been such a long time since we last saw each other. Why don't the three of us have dinner together? My treat.
I don't like this man. My gaze quickly shifts from Carter's smile to Zane's indifferent eyes. I sort of understand what's going on. I'm sorry, Mr. Carter. The association strictly prohibits hunters from accepting dinner invitations for work purposes.
Let's go.
Just as I'm about to turn around, the bouquet blocks my path again.
Miss, I understand there are rules about not having dinner, but the flowers didn't do anything wrong, right?
Why is he so persistent? Are these flowers drugged? I'm just asking. I've read enough manhwa and seen enough anime to know that, like, this should be something to be concerned about. Before I have the opportunity to decline, Zane swiftly takes the white roses. He glances at them, and with a blank expression, he gives the roses back to Carter.
They're much appreciated. Unfortunately, there's no room for them in my car.
And that's on period. You tell him, Zane.
Miss Hunter?
With Zane holding my arm, I leave. Carter persistently follows us. See, and that's when you know he has ulterior motives.
Actually, I'm here to give you a reminder.
Reminder for what?
The outside world isn't as safe as Lincoln. Be careful when you're traveling.
Something tells me I should be more concerned about him than of the outside world. I mean, like, she knows the outside world is dangerous. She's a hunter, for God's sakes. You didn't have to come and tell her that. You're suspicious, you're weird, and I don't like you.
Seatbelt.
Zane turns the steering wheel and the car joins the stream of flowing traffic. Why do I feel like he's mad at me? Like, I didn't do anything. I was coming to you first of all. He blocked my path. Now, me personally, I don't like talking to people. So I would have probably like looked at him for a second and said, thank you. And then sidestepped and then kept walking. I'm not about to have a conversation. First of all, you didn't even make an appointment with me personally. So like, I have no obligation to sit here and listen to you babble about whatever the hell you want to babble about. The guy seems to know you pretty well. Are you acquainted with him? He didn't seem to like him. And Xander Sciences? I feel like I've heard that name from somewhere. What if it's a cover for a ring? Thank you for coughing in my ear, Raymond. I hope you were covering your mouth.
Saying there are things only the two of you can do. I'm very curious now. Xander Sciences will provide you with the best staff, the best lab, and even the best treatment.
The person Raymond mentioned when we were at his place, that's Carter, right?
We studied under the same professor. That's it. The paths we're walking are completely different.
You two aren't like-minded from what I can tell. I also feel like he's a bit suspicious. A little suspicious. It was obvious he didn't show up just to invite me to dinner, and I can see you're very cautious around him. Is there blood between you two? You can tell me about it.
It's not interesting.
Well, I'll be the judge of that. Zane has black blood with someone, and he's very wary of him. Isn't that interesting already? Eyes on the road, sir.
The fact that he gave you roses is more than enough to put me on high alert.
That's what I'm saying. You don't randomly come up to someone that you've never met and say, these roses are for you. Why? Why are they for me? Specifically, I can give them to someone else? That's concerning.
But when he told you to be careful while traveling, I doubt that was a simple, friendly reminder.
That's what I'm saying. He knows something. Just as I'm about to tell Zane about my trip, I think twice. I shake my head and smile. It's gonna be a surprise. Surprise, I'm here. Maybe Carter was annoyed by how we were ignoring him. That's why he tried to scare us. You could have done better than that, sweetie. Zane glances at me, a hint of amusement in his eyes. He doesn't say anything else about this topic. In the bustling airport lounge, Grayson is stunned. Several seconds pass before he finally blinks.
So, you're our hunter escort this time.
Indeed I am. Are you surprised? Are you flabbergasted? Are you bamboozled? Pleased with Grayson's reaction, I can't help but imagine what the expression Zane will have when he sees me later. I move closer to him and shake my plane ticket at him. What's that expression? Do you feel relieved, or are you even more anxious?
Do you want to know the truth?
While Grayson's tone sounds lighthearted, a subtle tinge of concern appears on his expression.
They say the hospitals are doing an academic exchange. But in reality, we're going there to help them.
With what?
Why else would they send such a large team? Or even request a hunter escort for that matter?
Having Zane fly all the way there? The situation must be pretty bad.
Actually, The main problem is with one of the patients.
You know, I was gonna say, shouldn't you not tell me about this? But since I'm gonna be an escort, I probably should be on the lookout for something like this. So never mind. Continue what you were doing. Grayson lowers his voice and leans in closer.
His biopsy results show that the crystals in his heart have a certain shape and structure that's different from the ones you'd see with protocore syndrome. Also, when he was admitted to the hospital, he caused a metaflux burst.
Oh. As if worried I wouldn't believe him, Grayson takes out his phone and shows me a video. They recorded it?
My friend who works at Chancha Hospital sent me this. All the flux stabilizers in the ER went down. It was a mess.
In the video, the sound of an alarm fills the air and the lights flicker uncontrollably. Despite the shaking and blurred footage, the chaotic nature of the scene is unmistakable. An abnormal heart, a sudden burst of metaflux. A picture begins to form in my mind. Something strangely familiar. Probably happened to her.
No wanderer showed up, but it's strange considering how high the fluctuation index was.
The fluctuation index only tells of us the chances of a wanderer appearing. It's not guaranteed. But given the nature of the energy fluctuation, it's weird not a single wanderer appeared. I watched the video again to search for anything I might have missed. Is the metaflux a result of the patient being exposed to that wanderer in the beta protocurve? Grayson, do you mind showing me the other documents related to this?
Sure. What would you like to see?
You shouldn't make assumptions when things are still uncertain.
As Grayson and I lean in, a hand suddenly appears between us. Grayson is slightly nudged to the side.
Dr. Zane.
In one smooth motion, the hand takes the phone, turns off the screen, and then places it back into Grayson's hand.
Shansha Hospital was built a long time ago. It's not uncommon for their flux stabilizers to experience malfunctions.
He knows more than he's letting
on. As for
on.
the patient's biopsy results, they need to be further analyzed along with other reports. It's too early to jump to any conclusions.
I feel like he knows it's very eerily similar to what happened to our character. So he doesn't want to make any assumptions, but it's so obvious. I lock eyes with Zane. He stands before me with one hand resting on the handle of his suitcase. Good morning, Dr. Zane. I hold up a paper bag. Do you want a black tea cake or egg sandwich? You can only choose one.
I'll have the cake.
Of course he'll go for the cake. He's a sweetie.
Did you arrive at the airport early to buy breakfast?
I don't know if that constitutes as breakfast. It's more like a light snack. When did I ever say that? I retrieve my suitcase from behind a chair and proudly present my ID as a hunter escort to Zane. Surprise!
Mm-hmm.
Can you be a little more enthusiastic, Zane? Contrary to my expectations, I see no traces of astonishment in Zane's expression. Instead, he calmly hands me a hot latte.
Have you ever thought about who approved and signed your escort application and ID request?
Well, I wasn't, but now I am. I will be right back. I have to go on a bathroom break. This is like the first time I've ever taken one. Weird. Anyway, I'll be right back. Alright, now I feel better. I was trying to hurry up because like, I don't want them on the BRB screen for long. I wonder how long these ones are, though. We'll find out. The flight takes several hours. Eventually, the plane lands at Chunxia Airport. Boarding the shuttle sent by Chunxia Hospital, the medical team immediately heads to their destination. The chief of surgery, his hair already starting to gray, exchanges pleasantries with Zane before quickly delving into a discussion about the patient.
They're on ECMO. After the open heart surgery, adhesions began to develop. And this morning, we saw the crystals spreading. They're very close to the lungs now.
So how are they going to get the crystals out, exactly?
Then we'll have to perform surgery as soon as possible.
Zane quickly flips through the patient's medical record while putting marks on the paper.
Crystal extraction is already a complex procedure. Those adhesions, we're worried the patient won't be in a stable condition while under anesthesia.
This is our only option. We must perform the surgery. Let's reassess the patient's health and proceed once his physical condition allows it.
A few hours later, the surgical lights are turned on in the operating room. The rhythmic sounds of medical equipment reverberate. Led by Zane, a team of medical staff focuses on the surgery at hand. The observation room is filled with people, and their gazes are fixed on a large screen. On it, a pair of hands uses a scalpel to meticulously remove tiny crystals.
Clear the view.
After ensuring there's no unusual activity, I make my way back to the glass.
Dr. Zane is brave for taking on such a risky case.
Captain Willow.
We meet again.
During my previous visit to Chunxia City, we worked together. After exchanging formalities, she shows me the updated data. In a matter of seconds, the record of Wanderer's recent activities appears on my watch's built-in 3D map. It managed to traverse the entire city in 5 minutes. I've never seen a Wanderer move that fast before. Captain Jenna said there's no clear image of the Wanderer yet. Do you have any new leads?
We did some comparisons. Aside from the protocorps not aligning, the Wanderer closely resembles Mist.
But if you look at all the data, the traits this Wanderer exhibits are different from the Mists I've seen.
Yeah. I don't know what got into it, and how it managed to hide so well.
Perhaps the Aether Core made it mutate or something? Suddenly, discussion erupts next to us. It draws my and Willow's attention to the screen. A scale-like tiny crystal is slowly being peeled away from the edge of a blood vessel.
Surgeons have some steady hands, huh?
So true. That crystal is exactly like the ones on the monsters in the N109 zone. Zane must have noticed it too. Regaining my composure, I immediately look at him. He's not gonna be looking at you! Under the surgical cap, his eyes remain calm and focused. He continues with the procedure until the crystal is placed onto the surgical tray. Now, if this was a medical drama or something like that, an American one maybe, they'd look at each other and then you'd have a close-up of both of their faces and then it'd slowly pan out and then it'd go to commercial break.
Does it look all right on the ultrasound? Yes, it came off. Any bleeding? No. Let's wrap it up.
Applause erupts throughout the observation room, and relief washes over me. However, I feel a strange, unusual tremor in my chest. Something is rapidly expanding. Girl, it's your crystal! Metaflux! The alarm from the flux stabilizers resounds throughout the entire operating room. Captain Willow and I exchange a look and immediately get to work. She starts evacuating the spectators while I run to the intercom. Zane, a Wanderer is about to appear. You need to move.
Dr. Zane, the patient's blood pressure is dropping. Increase the adrenaline to 0.1 micrograms.
The alarm becomes louder. I immediately pull out my gun and aim at the area where the energy fluctuation has peaked. The faint energy fluctuation dissipates, yet the tremors I feel in my chest show no sign of subsiding. Saying, you need to leave, or else it'll be too late. It's the patient, sister.
The patient's vitals are unstable. Moving them isn't feasible right now.
Yep. Through the glass, Zane looks up at me, his gaze as calm as ever.
Can you suppress the accumulating metaflux with your evil?
I meet Zane's gaze that carries a subtle attempt to comfort me. My attention turns to Greenson and the others who are visibly worried. They wait for my response. I'll do my best.
Give me 5 minutes. Let's continue.
I'll have it done in 4. Is what she should have said. I have so many cheesy one-liners. Is this all story, no fighting? Because I love that. Using my evil and the flux stabilizers, I successfully buy the necessary time for Zane to finish suturing. When the surgery ends, the metaflux suddenly dissipates, as if what happened earlier was an illusion. Other medical staff will handle the follow-up procedures. I change out of my sterile suit. Just as I'm catching my breath, Zane pulls me into the lounge where no one's around. Is he gonna hug me? Thank me?
Give me your left hand. I'll do a quick evil examination.
Zane sits down a metal tray, picks up a cotton ball soaked in medicine, and begins to disinfect my hand. I'm fine. I might have overdone it, but my use of evil is better than before.
While that is how you feel, I suggest waiting for the results and listening to what your primary care physician has to say. Also,
a cool sensation emanates from the palm of my hand as he holds my fingers. He applies patches to each one. Also, what?
you should be well aware that the metaflux earlier wasn't something an ordinary wanderer could generate.
Yeah. You knew since the beginning.
Don't tell me you actually believed I thought you were a hunter escort whose sole purpose is to protect us.
Of course. You and Dr. Noah have known about the existence of ether cores for a while now. Straightening my posture, I start thinking. You noticed it during the surgery, right? That crystal was very similar to the sample I gave you. I'm almost 100% sure the wanderer that attacked this patient is related to the ether core. It's possible the ether core made those monsters in the N109 zone transform into their current state.
Not necessarily.
The examination machine beeps. Zane observes the fluctuating numbers displayed on the screen as he continues to speak.
The ether core shouldn't be what's causing the mutations. Your heart's integration with one is a perfect example. Given the extent of the mutation you've described, I'm more inclined to believe that someone attempted to be smart, but ended up failing in the process.
Are you saying someone is responsible for the appearance of those monsters and this patient's condition?
I'm merely speculating. Don't forget, in this world, many forces covet the ether core. You haven't met all of them yet.
Oh, that's true, that's true. You're right.
All is well.
The machine beeps, which indicates the end of the examination. Zane carefully removes the patches from my hand and puts them away. In the quiet room, the second hall of the wall clock moves quietly, plucking the faint light enveloping us. I can't help but yawn. I told you I was fine. If I have to say there's a problem, then I'm feeling a little tired now.
Watching the surgery must have been boring.
Not at all. It's actually my first time seeing you perform surgery. You looked cool. Taking a paper bag from the table, he settles on one side of the couch. He grabs a sandwich and pulls it apart with his clean hands.
The hospital cafeteria is closed. We'll have to make do with what's available to us.
Why did they focus on his hands? I mean, like, of course his hands are going to be clean. They can't be dirty. While the chaos has subsided, the persistent scent of disinfectant lingers in my nose. While my body is tired, my mind is still excited. I decided to direct my excess energy to the surgeon himself. Weren't you listening to me before? Someone said he'll learn to accept compliments from others.
I accept your compliment.
Thank you. And that's when you say you're welcome. Although I don't think you're supposed to say you're welcome to getting a compliment. I don't know. The sandwich bread is already flat and no longer looks appetizing. With the finesse of a seasoned chef, Zane lifts the bread and removes the greasy bacon. He then proceeds to discard the wilted lettuce, leaving only the ham slices, red cabbage, and shredded pork that have withstood the test of time. Today will be very memorable for me. Not only did I see you perform surgery for the first time, but I also had the privilege of observing a sandwich undergo surgery.
I've just removed the parts that experienced excessive nutrient loss and would have impacted digestion.
You could have kept the bacon, though. Is nutrition one of the things you research? Is there anything Dr. Zane can't master?
I have to admit that when it comes to accepting compliments, I'm not very good in front of you. But I suppose there's a chance for you to teach me in person.
So it's a date? Looking at me with a meaningful expression, Zane places the surgery-affected sandwich into my hand. He then pulls out his phone. You're gonna snap a photo of it? Is it Instagram-worthy? Baffled, I lean in and watch as Zane taps on a message notification. He opens up a new medical team group chat, which was created earlier today. Grayson has shared a group photo there, where the medical staff, their smiles tinged with weariness, hold glass vessels that are visibly cracked. Were these cracked by the energy I couldn't contain when I lost my target?
You overdid it, yes.
My bad.
But the medical staff said you're the most surprising hunter they've ever seen.
Is that supposed to be a compliment? They don't need to go that far. Embarrassed, I sheepishly laugh. I quickly shift my attention to eliminating the sandwich. Before Zane can speak, his phone abruptly starts ringing. I don't like the way the music changed. What do you mean by that? I don't like this music. I've seen enough medical dramas, okay? Upon hearing the voice on the other end, Zane freezes. Surprise appears on his face. I didn't even know he had a surprised face.
The patient woke up?
Isn't that a good thing? Are we not happy that the patient woke up? When Zane, Grayson, and I arrive at the entrance to the ICU, a nurse approaches us.
Do you know why he regained consciousness so quickly?
We're not sure. He shouldn't have woken up already. Look at this, Dr. Zane. All his vital signs are improving.
Maybe it's because they took out the fragment? Zane and Grayson change into sterile suits and enter the ward. I wait outside.
Can you hear me? Do you remember where we are? Look at my finger.
What if it gets violent?
I really wasn't expecting him to save the patient when they were at death's door.
Ah, damn. How didn't I go in with them? Mr. Carter?
Hello. We meet again, miss.
With the sudden appearance of Carter, I cautiously step to the side, and that's on period. However, he greets me with a smile. He raises both of his hands.
Don't get the wrong idea. I wasn't following you.
That's what someone would say if they were following you.
This patient happens to be an important client of Xander Sciences. After hearing about the incident, I decided to pay him a visit.
But wasn't he... Things are just not adding up, okay? Like, this was common knowledge that, like, well, not common knowledge, but it was knowledge around the hospital's sphere that like there was a patient that had like ether crystals, and not ether crystal, but the crystals in their heart, and it was going to their like lungs and stuff. So wouldn't you have already been here before? I'm like, he's sketchy and I don't like him. You weren't there when he was in critical condition. I don't think he's as important to you.
What do you mean?
He leans against the wall and casually looks at the glass door.
If it weren't for Xander Sciences, his fragile heart would have stopped a long time ago. What we're pursuing is far more stunning and ambitious than these petty solutions.
Get out of my face right now. I don't like this man. And I like him even more. I like him less even more now. Is that so? And that's when my character would look him up and down. Observing my indifferent reaction, Carter furrows his brow. A hint of disappointment appears on his face.
Aren't you curious about the kind of work we're doing?
Not really. I'm not. He shakes his head, and his usual pretentious smile graces his face again.
It's okay. You'll be interested someday.
What if it has something to do with me, though?
After all, only Xander Sciences can provide answers to the questions about your heart.
What did I just say? Frowning, I suppress the urge to ask more. I redirect my attention back to the ward. Grayson!
Hey, Dr. Singh wants you inside.
Thank you. You saved me. Grayson hurriedly walks out and hands me a sterile suit.
Excuse me, this is the ICU. For the patient's sake, we kindly request that unrelated individuals leave.
And that's on period, Grayson. You tell him. Having no intention of paying any more attention to Carter, I change into the sterile suit and enter the room. The man lying down on the bed has his eyes half open. His voice is weak yet infused with tangible excitement.
I'm back. I'm back.
He's back.
All his vital signs appear to be normal. However, under normal circumstances, a person wouldn't recover this quickly.
Which means he's abnormal, which means something's happened to his heart, which means I should tell them about what what Carter, or whatever his name is, said to me. That's what I would do. As Zane talks, he directs a meaningful look at me.
More anomalies may occur. Stay on your toes.
My tippy toes? Acknowledging his warning, I nod. I move to the bed, introduce myself, and state the purpose of my visit. I then proceed to ask questions. Davis, you say you're back. Where were you?
It trapped me. I couldn't get out. It was like a nightmare. I couldn't wake up.
I turn to my watch and pull up a picture of Mist. When you say it, do you mean this?
Yes. It was that thing. It was inside of me. But it wasn't.
Is he having a conniption? Suddenly, the vital signs monitor starts beeping loudly. The man on the bed begins convulsing as if something started choking him. Metaflex. Sane! I quickly pull out my gun and sense a more intense fluctuation. It surges and engulfs the room entirely.
Grayson, transfer the patient to another room and prepare for resuscitation.
Unexpectedly, a rift appears and reveals the shadowy figure of a wanderer. Moving myself to the front of the bed, I point my gun at the wanderer. However, it disappeared in the blink of an eye. A second later, it materializes like a phantom in another location.
Hey, behind you!
Evading its slash, I aim my gun at the center of the fluctuation. However, a tremor overwhelms my chest. I barely feel any pain. Only a dense white fog surges before me and obscures my vision. The wanderer dissipates as if my surroundings are transforming into another realm. The last thing I see is Zane rushing toward me. Zane, watch out! I say with like minimal enthusiasm. Oh no, watch out. Don't get hit by that. That's what it's giving. It feels as though my body is plummeting into a thick fog. The sensation of weightlessness threatens to push my heartbeat out of my chest. Amidst the chaos, I muster all my strength to find something, anything to hold on to, and after what feels like forever, my feet touch solid ground. My surroundings become clear. She outside? Bathed in dim, feeble light, a long corridor appears before me. It remains hidden in the mist. This kinda is like the beginning. So did he have like a precognitive dream? Am I at the hospital? No. I feel a faint tremor in my chest. A familiar energy fluctuation surges with the mist. It drags me somewhere. This fluctuation is from the ether core. I'm probably in the Wanderer's protofield. As I stand in the empty space, the sound of approaching footsteps reaches my ear. Turning around, I notice a dark figure, which is probably Zane. Zane? An onslaught of sharp ice crystals materializes around me. They're ready to pierce my heart, and this is where he woke up. The ground beneath me disappears, and I find myself falling into a sense of weightlessness again. As I float in this void, blurred lights and sounds rush past me like an avalanche. Within the boundless darkness, it's as if a pair of hands is gently lifting my tired soul. I struggle to open my eyes. After feeling my steady heartbeat for several seconds, I sit up on the bed.
You're awake.
By the floor-to-ceiling window stands a figure wearing black clothing. He turns around. Behind him are dilapidated buildings and the sunset's tender light. Why are the buildings dilapidated? How much time has passed? Sane? The figure takes another step, his appearance nearly overlapping with the dark figure I had seen before. I move back.
How are you feeling?
After hesitating for a moment, I reach out and touch his cheek. I trace his eyebrows and the contours of his face. I recognize the features I know so well. In this silence, he remains motionless. He just looks at me. It's probably because you're touching his face. I'm fine. I think I just had a dream. Perhaps it's the influence of the protosphere that caused me to have those strange illusions. Shaking my head to clear my thoughts, I shift my focus to the room. The cracked grayish-white walls enclose a space where a sofa, holographic screen, refrigerator, and various functional home appliances exist in close proximity. It looks like the home of someone who struggles with living a normal life.
Do you remember what happened in the ward?
I remember seeing white, and then I remember falling. The wanderer that suddenly appeared, the tremor in my heart, and Zane running towards me. Memories gradually find their way back to my mind. Are we still in the Wanderer's protofield?
Yes.
Following Zane's gaze, I get up from the bed and join him looking out the window. As the final remnants of twilight vanish, the city stands before us under a light blue sky. Its desolation is evident. This place is a rusted skeleton of its former self. And although it's faint, the energy fluctuation around us are similar to an aether's core. This Wanderer's protocore must possess an aether's core's energy. But in my dream, it's as if the chill from those ice crystals still linger in the air. I grip my arms more tightly.
You're awake now. Remember that whatever you dreamt about was only a dream.
Are we sure it was only a dream? It's like we had the same dream, but in different perspectives. So really, I don't think it was a dream at all. A blanket is draped over my shoulders. I reach out, but he walks away before I can touch him. Damn. Zane opens the refrigerator, revealing a collection of peculiar bottles with mysterious liquids and a jar half filled with chocolate. Were you eating chocolate while I was asleep? After opening the jar, he offers a few pieces to me. Their packaging unexpectedly fancy. I'm not hungry.
According to my perception of time, you've been unconscious for 2 days.
Oh.
If you don't eat or drink something, I'm afraid you won't have the energy to find the Wanderer.
The scent of chocolate saturates the air and ignites my appetite. What if the Wanderer launches a surprise attack while we're resting? Despite my words, I find myself sinking into the worn-out couch. I unwrap the chocolates with Zane. I look up and my gaze falls upon a bit of vibrant green on a desk. It's a flower pot with a jasmine in it. It sticks out like a sore thumb in this desolate world. While the branches and leaves retain their green hue, the stem has already started to wither. Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. This is just my own theory, but what if this is a world where a previous reincarnation of Zane lived, and that Wanderer that has the beta protocurve inside of it is able to manifest different worlds? And so depending on what person gets stuck in the protofield, that's what they'll experience. They'll experience their previous life, but in a different way. That's just me though. I love suffering, can you tell? Is it normal to see Jasmine in a Wanderer's protofield?
What are you implying?
That it's weird that life is in a protofield? The patient who was attacked by the Wanderer fell into a nightmare. They were trapped in their own dream. In other words, the environment we're currently seeing in the protofield must also be a manifestation of someone's dream. What did I just say? Although I said previous reincarnation, it could have been a dream. I don't know. And I don't remember ever seeing anything here. Yep, this is your dream. So this is your dream.
Are there any comments you'd like to make about it?
No, I was just saying. Even in a world as broken as this, chocolate still exists. I expected nothing less from you.
Shouldn't you be saying something like, "Thank goodness it's Zane's dream. We can still eat chocolate."
Zane, who's wearing nothing but black clothes, appears somewhat strange. Maybe this is how he sees himself in his dreams.
I have dreamt of this place. However, the jasmine hasn't wilted yet, and the world itself isn't in such a dilapidated state.
Is this a nightmare you've been having then? Zane is quiet for a while before responding in a soft voice.
Yes.
Don't be scared. Dreams are the opposite of reality. I offer the unwrapped chocolate to his lips. Try it. Who knows? Maybe the chocolate in your nightmares doesn't even taste like chocolate. He lowers his head and eats the chocolate.
It's carrot flavored.
Liar. He looks out the window again, where the silhouette of a bird flies across a darkening sky.
Since dreams are the opposite of reality, perhaps I'm not a doctor in this one.
Everything is a hazy blur in dreams. Yet in Zane's dream, the flowers, trees, streets, and shops appear with remarkable clarity. I can't help but wonder how long this dream has haunted him, insistently replaying itself to the point where every detail is fleshed out.
While it resembles my dreamscape, I can tell it's a proto-field. Over there.
Over where? He guides me to the entrance of a narrow alleyway. The road ahead is covered in thick fog. It's as if we reached the edge of the dream itself. From the fog, a cluster of black crystals has emerged. It blooms like a flower and is as tall as a 3-story building. It blocks the path. A proto-cluster?
It regenerates very quickly after it's broken. I'd say it's as good as new within a few seconds. Yes, I tried destroying it before you woke up.
Can't argue with that. Try to get out any way you can. As I recall my past battles, a hypothesis forms in my head. I think I know what's going on here. There must be another proto-core cluster in this proto-field, and they provide energy to each other. We need to destroy both of them to leave this proto-field.
Eating sweets certainly makes one smarter.
Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. I gestured toward him, though I'm only slightly smarter than you. Chuckling, Zane pulls my head down. Since this is your dream, do you think you know where the other proto-core cluster is?
When you're in a proto-field, using evol in a scientific matter is more effective than dreaming.
So use my proto? The proto-field is practically drenched in erratic energy fluctuation. Yet amidst the entanglement of proto-curves, I detect one that stands out. I open my eyes and point in a direction. From what I've sensed, the second proto-core cluster should be on the other side of this proto-field. Similar energy fluctuations appear from another direction. I look at Zane. Which one would you like to pick? Zane looks into the distance. I don't know if I managed it or not, but some sort of emotion stirred in his eyes.
The one that's farthest away.
The far end of the city is cloaked in black mist, resembling the gaping maw of a beast hidden in the shadows. Nope, I want that one. I understand this is your dream, so you know where the dangers are, but are you going to face them alone again?
This is my dream. I can get to my destination faster than you.
But your dream isn't exactly being nice to you right now. Maybe the more you try to use it, the more it'll use you instead. Let me go instead.
You.
Me? Don't push yourself when you're in trouble. I got your back. That's a tip from your hunter escort. Smiling, I take a step and pat his back. Without waiting for Zane to respond, I wave and start walking.
Don't push yourself. That's a tip from your primary care physician.
I love their banter. Behind me, I hear a soft sigh followed by Zane's words that are tinged with worry. Turning around, I catch a glimpse of him standing in the shadows. He's far away now, so I can't clearly see his expression. I press my lips into a thin line and nod. Regardless of whether it's him or me, we'll know we'll always support each other. As the girl walks away, her figure disappearing from the fork in the road, Zane turns his gaze towards the alley's depths. Within the thick fog, a broken streetlight flickers intermittently. He raises his hand. Part of the mist detached themselves from the air, spiraling and condensing, they coalescence into icicles above his palm. Dark impurities silently emerge from within them, but they stop spreading just as they're about to breach the outermost layer of the white crystals. It's as if a looming black hole threatens to consume everything pure and white, yet a thin, unwavering layer of pristine ice remains resolute in being the last line of defense. Shadows stretch, and in the boundless fog ahead, the proto-core cluster awaits his arrival like a slumbering wanderer. Within the mist, a cold wind materializes as aggressive figures selfishly stir. The ice crystals in his palm slice the air and seemingly hit nothing, but the protocore cluster shimmers from a fleeting moment. As more wanderers emerge, their roars resound, and their figures phase in and out. The ice crystals solidify into sharp blades. Zane delivers his attack with decisive precision. Blades of ice tear through the darkness, and a pungent scent permeates the air. The ground beneath his feet slowly transforms. It turns soft and slimy like sludge, stubbornly clinging to his legs. Dazed, Zane looks down, peering through the mist and layers of unclear ice. His gaze falls into his palm.
Zane!
A bloody hue taints his hand, and an eerie shadow is cast over his senses. He's momentarily transported back to that bone-chilling nightmare. Zane is shocked. He looks up and knows who's standing before him. The tension is palpable, gripping him.
William?
William?
It's too late. Please.
In the howling, icy wind, Zane hears his heavy breaths. Once again, he returns to the endless snow-covered expanse of Mount Eternal. Bloody tears stream down from William's empty eye sockets. Oh, that's an image. Then, an array of faces emerges from the cluster's projection.
Aren't you going to celebrate my birthday with me? Why did you kill me? Aren't you a doctor? You should have saved me! Why didn't you save me and my child?
Zane, please. Kill me.
He's suffocating. He's trapped. His head is spinning. Zane notices his fingers are trembling uncontrollably. He staggers back only to trip over something again.
It's just an illusion. It's not real. It's not.
That's when you hug him, when she's all the way across the field. More and more hands stretch out toward him. They're frozen. The space around him shatters and distorts into mirrors. They reflect his bloodshot eyes. They reflect his hands are clenched so tightly that veins bulge. A black icicle suddenly pierces through the mirrors and shatters part of the protocore cluster. The protocore cluster doesn't regenerate. It resembles a cliff teetering off the edge, ready to collapse in on itself.
She made it.
As the mirror shards dissolve into black mist, the cold light intensifies and casts an ethereal glow. Determined, Zane thrusts the ice blade toward the human figure. Zane? The ice blade stops as Zane's pupils contract. It's her. But she can't possibly be here. They're your patients. How could you... Am I next? You'll kill me, right? No, you're not Zane. Who are you? Who are you and what have you done with my husband? That's what it's giving. It's a face he knows so well in this unspeakable nightmare. Her expression is filled with disbelief and pain. Yes, it's her. Zane, kill me. That was physically painful to say. I just want everyone involved to know that. Black ice blooms from her chest, their petals unfurling. She's as light as a piece of paper, separated from life's weight. Yet she falls almost with a thud in a stiff embrace. Buzzing engulfs Zane's ears as he's once again pulled into the depths of a never-ending nightmare. While he knows it's an illusion, he can't break free. At that moment, the cracked protocore clusters pulsate with a blood-red light. The air trembles around it. The massive shadow before him breaks along with other protocore clusters. The illusion in his arms changes again, but he doesn't look up. He only clenches his fist.
It's time to end this.
A cold gleam flickers, and pure black ice crystals surge beneath him. They freeze every figure that lurks within the shadows. The darkness is suppressed, and his surroundings change. It's foggy. A blurry figure gradually emerges from the cracks in the space. Thing conjures black ice and takes aim. However, his body becomes immobile as if he's frozen in place.
You shouldn't throw yourself into danger just for her.
Oh,
His entire body becomes encased in ice. Black crystals pierce his chest and spread to his fingers. The intense pain leaves Zane's back drenched in sweat. He's unable to control his body as he collapses. His heart races in fear as he hears that cold voice.
Seek your destiny. Only then can you be redeemed.
Is this Astra? Cause like, me and her can meet in the back alley right now. I don't like her. Okay, we're gonna take a little break. Little breaky break from this story, this branch, because I also want to do the event. He's still standing up. Love that for him. I always press event. I'm like, what's this? And then it presses, and then it doesn't. I'm like, wait, no, I don't want to do that yet. And I always end up never getting this part. According to my Hunter's Watch signal fluctuations, it should be around here. Is there actually a wanderer that's causing trouble? It's me. I'm the wanderer. The Lincoln New Year is approaching. A day before the vacation, a strange, hastily put together letter appeared on the gate of the Hunters Association.
Stupid Hunters Association. For the past year, you've issued bounties on me and ruined my plans again and again. That's why I decided to give you a gift for the Lincoln New Year. A devious scheme you'll never see coming. Just you wait.
No, get this cartoon villain out of my face. Everyone dismisses it as a prank letter. Only Nero said something about how it was very much a collectible and kept the original. And then a strange figure in dark colored clothing appeared a few days later, interrupting the preparations for those New Year's events in town. The association has sent out hunters who are still in the city to investigate, and I happen to be one of them. This is the only lantern workshop that's still open nearby. I should ask its owner about the current situation. Just as I'm about to knock, I hear a struggle inside the workshop. The next moment, coated in red pumpkin maggots burst out from the door. It drags an assortment of colored lanterns along.
I hate these red things. Destroy them. Destroy them all.
Stop right there. And give stop, criminal scum. I have just taken 2 steps after the wanderer when my phone rings. It's the person I'm seeing tonight. I wonder who we're gonna say it is. Oh no, look at that. It's Silas. Silas, I'm in the middle of something urgent right now. Wait.
You're not interested in a lead related to Pumpkin Magus, kitten?
Is there something you're not aware of? Is there anything you're not aware of? He's always keeping an eye on you, sweetie. I'm sorry.
Look up.
Is it gonna be Mephisto? Is it gonna be floating in the air? Well, that call ended quickly. I figured it was Mephisto. Mephisto circles twice in the air before flying away. I immediately follow him. Mephisto helps me find Pumpkin Magus. Unfortunately, the Wanderer escapes. And just as I'm about to push my way out of the crowd, someone suddenly grabs my wrist and pulls me into an alley. And that's when you punch him. Using momentum to my advantage, I push him against the wall. Oh my god, scandalous.
This is how you treat law-abiding citizens who give you a lead?
Silas, you gotta start wearing something different, please. Where's the lead then? You didn't hide it on your person, right? Silas slightly raises an eyebrow as he exudes a "search me if you dare" aura. I decide to be blonde instead. You gonna poke him? It's not here. I don't see anything here either. It's well hidden.
I mean, it is an important lead for a hunter.
Huh? Don't tell me you put it on Mephisto. I pretend to realize something, but when I let go, Silas pulls me back.
How can you find anything if you just casually touch a few places?
The distance between us disappears. His warmth radiates out from where we touch, and it spreads to my cheeks. Are you here to help me track down Pumpkin and Magus?
I happen to be in the area.
Yeah, sure.
Also, I'm doing this so you can get off work early. That way you'll be on time for our appointment.
You know what's so funny? When Love and Deepspace first came out, I was a Xavier and Zane girly. And now that Silas has come out, like, it's just been Silas every single time. When they give me the option, Silas, I love him. The Pumpkin Magus is nearby. We must retrieve the lantern materials for it to ensure this year's Lantern Fest goes as planned. Battle the Pumpkin Magus here and collect various lantern materials during combat. After retrieving lantern materials, have artisans craft them into lantern parts here. Only crafted parts can be used to craft lanterns. Once you have the parts ready, come to the workshop and decorate your special lantern together. Okay, let's see. Pursue the Pumpkin Magus and recover the lantern materials. Switch between different stages and difficulty level to obtain various materials through pursuit. What's this? Oh. Oh, they're gonna give you the free one. Okay, I get it, I get it, I get it. I might as well just do everything here right now since I'm doing it. Oh. I probably shouldn't have gotten that. Actually, now that I think about it, because I still don't have them unlocked, so it's not even gonna count. That outfit looks banging though. Not that outfit. Wait a minute, huh? No, go back to that one. That one was cute. Oh, well, whatever. Theoretically, would I be able to do all of these? I still have one day, so all of them will be unlocked tomorrow. Nice. Okay, anyway. I'll just do the ones that I can. Silas and I plan to leave through the alley when my hunter's watch starts beeping.
The target has been spotted. I repeat, the target has been spotted. It's destroying lanterns. Please head to the designated location.
I hold up the hunter's watch to Silas. You promised to give me a lead. What happened?
I'm pretty sure I did that, though.
Ugh. I give Silas a meaningful pat on the shoulder and help him stand. I'm ready to head to the location marked on my watch's display. With your help, we'll be able to finish this mission.
You're misunderstanding something, kitten.
Silas points. Mephisto proudly stands with his chest puffed out.
Your assistant is there.
Mephisto. The mechanical crow. When I arrive at the designated location, Pumpkin Magus is in the middle of destroying something. Mephisto draws his attention. I move behind it before taking it down with a few swift moves.
Hey, stop pecking me! Oh, you'll regret this!
You leave Mephisto alone. Pumpkin Magus screams and runs away. It barely misses my colleagues who are rushing over. It doesn't sound like he's rushing away. It sounds like he's walking with a little sass.
It's good that you chased Pumpkin Magus away, but...
Don't ask about the call. That's not a crow. That's a dessert. Behind me, Silas is leaning against his motorcycle and looking at his phone. Upon hearing Luis's voice, Silas looks up. He's unaware that he's a potential threat.
Oh, Sky, I hope your business has been doing well.
It's fine. I have more than enough money to cover my daily expenses.
We should take advantage of Lincoln New Year's to support your business.
No.
The association...
His business is doing too well. Oh, the fruit sold out a while ago. Try again next year. Silas nonchalantly leans in and places one hand on my shoulder.
You should listen to the boss. She's not wrong.
Oh, okay. We'll talk to each other next year.
What was that for? Luis gives me a look that says she's going to leave now, and then she quickly drags Alex away. Only Silas and I remain.
You have a great relationship with your colleagues.
And you have a terrible one with yours.
When hunters have side gigs for their days off, such as being the owner of a fruit business, the association won't mind, right?
I'm not sure. But when hunters hang out with someone they like when their day's off, the association has no right to interfere. Which is so bold, because she's always like, oh my god, they can realize that this is Silas, the Ona Kindness leader. But he's out here willy-nilly. And she's just like, yep, that's my man. They're like, isn't he wanted? He sure is. He sure is. I need Silas to shut up about his fruit business. It's not even a fruit business. You're lying to everyone involved. I think I might just dedicate a whole entire stream to the event at some point before it's gone. So maybe like next week. But first I have to get down with this. I just wanted a breather for a second because like that was a lot. It was like a lot for me. Like I was reading and my heart was beating. So I had to take a little moment, get away from that. And now we're gonna go back into it because I need to get to the point where I can get Caleb. Okay. As a protocore cluster shatters, a distant tremor ripples through the air. The shape around me transforms into mist and moonlight shines down. Then the fog dissipates. I can feel the ground beneath my feet. I cautiously assess my surroundings and see I'm in a garden at the back of the hospital. Something's not right. This is Lincoln's Axo Hospital, but we should be in Chunxia. My heartbeat quickens, and I sense a foreboding washes over me. Holding my gun, I push open the door that leads to the hospital. Behind the door, a white mist emerges. So we're still in the protocore field, right? When it cleared, I noticed I was back at Zane's place. By the couch, someone was lying on the floor with their back to me. Zane!
Be careful. We haven't escaped this dream. There are 2 layers.
He turned around very
and the
quickly.
Wanderer is still here.
I rush over to Zane and help him up. He weakly presses his hand against his left shoulder. His expression also alone shows how much he's in pain. The ice. Zane clenches his left hand and moves away from my hand.
The ice. It's dangerous. Don't touch.
Well, she's too late. She's already touched it.
It's too dangerous. I won't be able to control. Leave. Now.
A sudden voice in my head gave me pause. Despite the warning, I lean in to expect Zane's injury, feeling my heart sink with each passing moment. There are no visible external injuries on his body, yet a blackened eye spreads around across his wrist and neck. It doesn't seem like it'll disappear anytime soon. I don't think you're just losing control of your evil. Let me see if I can help.
Don't worry. I'm fine. It was just...
I wasn't even going to try to read that because it wasn't going to let me.
Don't waste your time on me. We can still go after her.
Who says I'm wasting time on you, Zane? That's on period. What she said in that split second. Push him down. Whoa, hold on. Can it let me be great? Can I just read it without it, like, not doing this?
My left shoulder. A little lower. I would hope so.
Isn't there just a car that's just like this?
I know how this nightmare ends. Wanderers aren't the only threat here.
It's your
If
past.
push comes to shove, leaving me behind might be for the best.
Well, that's stupid because I'm not doing that.
If I do something that ends up hurting you, don't go easy on me.
There's just like no way I can read these.
What happened?
I wish we had a choice of what our character could look like in cutscenes. I want her to have short hair.
Letting you step into this nightmare perhaps was another mistake. But at least I have one last choice.
Is he gonna send her out of the dream? Is he gonna freeze her? Is he taking her pain away? As I gather my thoughts, the weary face before me momentarily merges with a blurry image of Zane and my fragmented memories, but they immediately separate. Wait, when I was pulled into the proto-field, I was attacked by that wanderer and lost consciousness. The wound should be on my body, but it's gone. He took it away for... I give Zane an inquisitive look. I want an answer, but he averts his gaze instead. Zane, what did you do while I was unconscious? She's just gonna look at her. They look back at each other, and it cuts to commercial. Can you tell I watch too many shows like that? And we just said that. Is this why you're losing control of your evil? Did I hit the mark? His silence confirms my suspicion. I lower my head and my hands that rest on his tighten. Before the worry and guilt in my heart coalescence into coherent words, they disappear because of Zane's presence. He lowers his head and his chin rests on the top of my head.
You're my hunter escort, correct? Protecting you was protecting myself.
And?
After subjecting you to a distressing dream, ensuring you can leave safely is the least I should do.
Why are you making it sound like you dragged me through hell and back? Your dream didn't hurt me. The mist is exploiting it.
What if the Wanderer wasn't the only source of danger? You've seen how bleak and oppressive this dream is. As you said, it's not exactly being nice to me. Perhaps the dream itself is the real threat here.
Zane talks slower, enunciating each word with a gentle tone, as if he's trying to calm his simmering inner turmoil. I realized something. After we entered the protofields that's based on Zane's dream, he's been acting more hesitant. Could it be... Zane, this nightmare is more than just a dream to you, right? I sense his hands slowly move, a testament to its master's emotions that are always restrained.
A dream remains a dream so long as you wake up from it. But when that day comes, when I can't wake up...
Are you worried you'll be trapped in your dreams, or that your dreams will encroach on reality? If that day ever comes, I'll find you in your dreams. Even if the world falls into chaos and everything turns upside down, I'll never forget who I am, and I won't forget who you are. By then, I'll find you in your dreams, the real you. The resonance's light quietly flows from my fingers as I make a not-so-solemn promise in a calm voice. Zane's breath hitches as if it's suspended in the air for a while, then he exhales, his breath carrying the weight of unspoken sentiments. If all else fails, he'll bury you in the body of a snowman. You'll be a super big snowman.
What?
I close my eyes and banish the myriad of questions and worries from my mind. If you can't deal with it by yourself, then we'll face it together. I'm the best there is, so I'm sure I can lend a hand.
I see your problem-solving skills are more on the straightforward, brutal side. Should we consider this a side effect of you becoming stronger?
If you want to. It's called having the freedom that comes with power. Oh, do I have to hold it? All the black ice has disappeared. How are you feeling? Does it still hurt? I look up and meet Zane's gaze. It seems he's been observing me for a while.
It doesn't hurt anymore.
Don't... Just as I'm about to tell Zane not to lie again, he turns over my hand. A sliver of glimmering icy light appears in my palm. He takes back his hand, and two chubby little ice seals tumble onto my hand.
You get two. As an escort, you are very professional while on the job. This is your reward, since I have nothing else to give you.
You can give me chocolate.
Do you trust me now?
I've always trusted you, Zane. From where I am, light and shadow stands upon his features. They accentuate the mirth in his eyes. You keep telling me not to push myself, but you also need to stop disregarding your safety. He nods. I clench my hand and reach out to him. I help him stand on his feet as I get up. You said this dream has 2 layers. Are we in the outer one because we broke the inner layer? Zane doesn't refute my statement. He turns around and walks ahead to open the door. We step out to be greeted by the night breeze. We retrace our steps through the corridor and return to the hospital garden, which feels familiar yet strange.
A mutated wanderer's protofield defies normal logic. It could be hiding anywhere.
So I wonder if the other two are like the layers. The other two story branch things we have to do. I'm saying we, like you guys are doing it with me, but I don't know. Outside the hospital, a skyscraper rise like towering concrete trees in a forest. Meanwhile, the rest of the city stands in eerie silence. I can use my evolve to return the portal field to its original state.
Negative consequences born from mistakes don't need to be fixed.
The sky swiftly darkens as if time itself has been accelerated.
We have no choice but to destroy this place.
Wait, you're evil. We'll do it together.
Are you ready?
Black snowflakes drift from our interlocked fingers. The night wind momentarily suspends before swirling into a freezing flurry once more. Underneath our feet, a vast expanse of ice crystals bloom. The ground, the buildings, and even the particles floating in the air were all ensnared in the swift spread of the chilling night, wrapped in its icy embrace. In an instant, the entire world froze into a black amber. A rift violently tears through the fabric of the space. The Wanderer can't hide anymore. It screeches and reveals its true form. Persona? There it is. Let's go. Zane's coat flutters wildly in the wind. Amidst nightmarish darkness, an icy glimmer materializes in his hand.
Let's end this before the breaking dawn arrives.
That's where we cut. And then it's the end song. Why am I using the sword? It's so booty. I personally like the wand better.
Here
or
it
the
comes.
gun. Like
Watch
those
out
two.
with our combined strength.
Here I go.
Keep your distance from it. It is falling apart.
I have this on auto. I'm not playing it.
You won't escape.
Struggling is futile.
I was just careless.
I wish they had their
Victory
AI
is
better
within
for
reach.
this.
Keep your distance.
It's like it
or
says
else you'll get
dodge,
hurt.
and then they never dodge.
Watch where it's going. With our combined strength.
Here I go.
Make sure to dodge the attack.
Oh, again, make sure to dodge. It's like,
Stay where I can see you.
It's not really what I want to do right now.
I can still do this. Zane,
Here it comes. Leave it to me. Is this what...
I'm okay. Let's take it down first.
Ma'am, I don't think you're going to be taking anything down. It looks
It's
like
your
you're about to
turn.
be
Wait, wait.
deceased.
Now's our chance. I'll send it on a journey.
Its final journey.
Struggling is futile.
My turn.
It recovered. Be careful. Proceed with caution. Stay where I can see you.
I'm behind you, Zane. You can't see me now. Just saying.
You won't escape.
Stay safe. Don't get this elimination complete.
It'll be the same result for next time.
Once the final blow is dealt to the Wanderer, an intense tremor surges from the depths of my heart. But the resonance is unmistakable this time. It's akin to gentle waves brimming with power. A light, warm glow gently descends into my palm. And they're back in Chancia. Is this Chancia Hospital? The breaking dawn's light streams in through the window. In the silent corridor, the air carries a faint scent of disinfectant. Have you returned? Sane?
I'm here.
As my hand is tenderly squeezed, I turn my head. Zane is next to me. Wait, I need to double check. Are we still in the proto field or are we in reality? Turn around first. And turn back now. Though his expression has a bit of helplessness, Zane still complies.
Are you double checking or making me play a game of turnaround?
I'm confirming that Dr. Zane is the person with me right now. A burst of laughter erupts from deep within me, but in the very next second I collapse onto the ground. His arms immediately extend to steady me.
Are you alright?
I'm fine. I reach out, but stop once I realize I'm holding something. I open my hand and see a protocore fragment. It emanates a faint green glow. A fragment of the Aether Core? At least our effort wasn't for nothing.
You're back.
Dr. Zane.
Captain Willow and the others rush over from the opposite end of the corridor. Their expressions reflect a mixture of joy, relief, and concern.
Are you two okay? You're not hurt, are you? It's been 3 whole days since you were trapped in that Wanderer's proto field. Everyone's been worried sick.
Oh wow, 3 days? From Captain Willow, I learned that exactly 3 days had passed since we entered the peculiar proto field. The patient has been relocated to a secure ward and is now out of danger following resuscitation. During this time, the entire hospital was being protected by Chancia City's hunters who carried out a thorough investigation.
By the way, we discovered a strange device while investigating the ICU.
That was probably planted by Carter. Speaking in a quieter tone, she gave me a still transparent bag.
We found it hidden inside a flux stabilizer that was sitting in a corner. Almost went unnoticed. Ever since that incident happened in the ER, the hospital's flux stabilizers have been examined or replaced.
So only recently did someone tamper with one of them. I take the sealed bag and show a grateful smile. I'll ask the association to conduct an investigation. And to look into that doctor, or whatever he's supposed to be. I open the door to Zane's home. It's quiet. Zane? I tiptoe into the living room. Zane is peacefully sleeping on the couch. The curtains gently flutter in the warm breeze. Light and shadows glide from his nose to his chin. Is he sleeping, or? Well, if he's sleeping, don't mess with him. I move closer and place my hand over his chest. Phew, he's just sleeping. He must be exhausted. Now you've woken him up. Approaching Zane, I kneel down to be at eye level with him. I carefully cover him with a blanket that was draped on the couch. The tension of Zane's furrowed brow dissipates. His breathing is steady and his expression is serene and relaxed. I look at his face, the thoughts in my mind racing as I reflect on the whirlwind of events that have unfolded recently. You can finally rest. My watch vibrates. I leave the living room and answer Simone's call. It's urgent!
The preliminary analysis results are out for the thing you brought back.
Tell me.
It has an intricate structure. Took me a while to disassemble it. I found a radio frequency chip that resonates with metaflux fluctuations. Basically, it's an energy transmitter. It can locate protocores and even attract wanderers via fluctuations.
A wanderer attracting transmitter. As I recall what had happened, one figure stands out the most suspicious, Carter. He just showed up before and after the patient displayed abnormalities. I share my suspicions with Simone. She then poses her own questions.
The complexity of this small device is far beyond his understanding, and even Xander's sciences.
Well, I mean, like, how do we know that? He could be playing us for all we know.
It exhibits highly advanced protocore technology. Xander Sciences is a medical institution. There's no way they could possess protocore tech that rivals the association.
That's what I'm saying. It's a cover for something. So what are you thinking?
After the founder of Xander Sciences, Raymond, passed away, the company's future was uncertain. Only recently was it acquired by a well-known group. Its biggest shareholder right now should be... Ever.
It's at that moment, the fragmented pieces of information in my mind gradually lock into place and form a cohesive image. Carter mentioned the patient at Trenchia Hospital had been undergoing long-term treatment at Xander Sciences. Raymond, the founder of Xander Sciences, was in a similar situation. The peculiar crystals in the operating room and the monsters in the N109 zone come from the same source. That means Ever is creating monsters. Once again, Zane finds himself chasing after the familiar figure. Under radiant sunlight, cicadas chirp in the background while the pristine azure sky stretches as far as the eye can see. If that's the cicadas, that sounds concerning. The sun sits on the edge of the city's high-rise buildings. The girl turns to him. She smiles. At least he caught up to her.
Finally.
He holds out his hand to the girl, and she firmly grasps it. Oh. Yet the two of them find themselves tumbling back into the seemingly endless empty corridor. Black crystals emerge from his palm. They encroach on the girl's forearm. Sunlight is engulfed by darkness once more. Well, I have to do all of them. Oh. So I don't have to do all of them. I get you. Ouch. That makes so much sense now. But do I still have to do all of them in order to get to his story, or no? Could I have just chosen one? Because I mean, I've already done Zane, so like, did I only have to choose one? I don't know. We're gonna continue, and hopefully it gives me a warning. It's like, hey, maybe you should do this. After several ether core fragments we retrieved, Special Operations shifted its focus onto Ever. Their involvement in every recent ether core incident was far too frequent to be a mere coincidence. This business conglomerate, which started in the biotech industry, isn't as clean as it appears at first glance.
Our positions aside, Ever's technological advancements are pretty impressive.
Simone sits next to me, slipping some ice cream into her mouth as she japs the computer screen in front of me. At this moment, Ever's biannual product launch is about to be broadcast worldwide.
They can achieve things proficiently with machines, when people with Evol couldn't.
Machines?
Andrew's voice came from behind a row of translucent displays.
Based on what I can tell, it's not possible for them to make consecutive technological breakthroughs in such a short period of time. Not through normal means, at least.
The frequency in ways Wanderers have been appearing these past few months continue to steadily increase.
During the broadcast, the spokesperson holds up a device that's about the size of a bottle cap.
We'd like to introduce to you our newly designed portable flux stabilizer.
Sounds like a scam.
It can regulate the frequency of surrounding metaflux fluctuations, thereby stabilizing the protofield and reducing the likelihood of Wanderer materialization.
The audience erupts into thunderous applause. Meanwhile, away from the screen, I exchange knowing glances with my team members. They aren't doing this out of the kindness of their hearts. We might as well start planning our early retirement party. Sounds like it operates the same principles as a device that attracts wanderers, but it has the opposite effect. I ever made this gadget and we're supposed to leave, it's for the greater good? As if. They aren't doing anything. They aren't doing this out of the kindness of their hearts. Simone frowns at the screen.
This is nothing but a blatant provocation. We barely had time to suspect something was off before they brought out this product launch.
Yeah, they're being brazen about it too. It's like they're daring us to keep investigating with what we know so far.
That's unlikely to happen.
Captain Jenna! As soon as Simone and I hear Captain Jenna's voice coming from the entrance, we stand up behind the screens. Andrew nods at Jenna. Captain?
Captain.
The fact that they're hosting a high-profile product launch means they've already covered their tracks. They wouldn't take this risk if there were a possibility of us finding incriminating evidence.
That's true. Jenna walks over to the command desk and places a thick folder on it. The three of us gather around her.
The analysis report for the previous fragments has just come out. Let's take a look.
She taps the desk twice, and a regular spherical structure appears before us.
They're from the same ether core. Based on its characteristics, we're officially naming it Spatium Core.
A spatium core that can manipulate space. I know of at least 3 different ether cores now. As more ether cores appear, it's only a matter of time before the public becomes aware of this extraordinary energy source.
It's just that the fragments of the Spatium Core are held together by some kind of gravitational pull.
Gravitational pull? Hello? Someone's evil is gravitational? Are we connecting the dots? Because I'm connecting them. She points to the center of the several fragments.
Right here. One fragment is missing.
Jenna leans forward, looking at us again.
Special Operations' next objective is clear. We must recover this crucial ether core fragment before further complications arise.
Yes, Captain.
Yes, Captain.
Oh, right. There's something you need to know.
What is it that I need to know? Please don't give me any more bad news. I'm tired of it. With quick reflexes, someone intercepts Andrew, distracting him under the pretense of exploring new avenues for weapon enhancement with the recently collected data. I can't take any more bad news, Captain Jenna. I'm tired of this. When only we remain in the meeting room, Jenna pauses before activating her watch.
There's more. I couldn't talk about it during the meeting. But it's something you need to know.
What? A message is transmitted to my watch at her gesture. The word "Ever Secret Investigation Report" float in front of me.
A line in there involves what happened at your house that day. Anyway, I've sent it to your hunter's watch. You can read it when you're home.
Understood. Thick clouds swallow up the remaining patches of sky. It's dark now, and the wind sweeps away the last remnants of the sunset. All that remains is a bleak white. The weather forecast said there will be heavy rain. At some point, the streets have become quiet. It's as if people sense the approaching storm and are now hiding. I can see lightning in the distance as it flashes under a cloud. Thunder roars closer again. I should go home. As I'm about to move, a sound presses against my heart like a string, sending a shiver down my spine. Did she pass out? Is something gonna be in the sky? Is it gonna be watching us? You know, sometimes I say stuff and I don't think it's real, but then it is. My heart responds to that eye. The world around me fades, but the call I can hear becomes clearer. It's behind that, somewhere in the distance, lies the power of Ether Core. I used to call it Aether, and people laughed at me, so now I call it Ether. I don't even know if that one's right. Woohoo! Oh, this will be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay. This is actually my strongest unit, so it's understandable. It's understandable. I think we're done. I think I can finally get to the Caleb thingy mafloozer. Unless that's not what's about to happen, and then I have to go through more story. Wow, that's loud.
It's your turn.
Okay, if you say so.
You won't escape.
Since we finished our warm-up.
The rest of the time belongs to us.
I have a feeling that it's still gonna be more story. Unless it just says next. I don't know. Because I know at the end, don't they like... I should be fine with that one. I should be good. I'll be fine. I say, and hope and pray for the best, actually.
It's a Lightseeker's duty to kill Wanderers.
Light, shine down upon me.
It's time.
Here we go.
The enemies are weak. Now's our chance.
It's a deer that's made of whatever it's made of.
Be careful not to get hit.
She doesn't know the meaning of not getting hit.
I see its weak point.
It's time.
Here we go.
But
time to get serious.
Savior! Everything went well.
See, I was fine. Woohoo! I didn't need to. Yippee! Oh, that was it? And now we're here. Cool. Now it won't tell me, you probably should do more before you do this. And I'm like, you can't tell me what to do. And it's like, yes, I can. I'm like, you're so right. You're so right. I'm sorry for disrespecting you. My vision goes dark. Everything blurs as the universe finds strange stillness in its chaos. And then it fades to nothing. A strong resonance pulls through my body. It stirs fragmented memories that drift like fading apparitions. A pale planet appears. It's strange yet familiar. And then there is an overwhelming force as silent as a black hole. It's a massive artificial eye. You know, back when I saw this for the first time, when that explosion happened with Graham and Caleb, I made this is when Jujutsu Kaisen specials that come out, and it fits so well with it that I made a cap cut of it. I don't know if I'm ever gonna like put it somewhere. I might put it in my Discord or something like that, or I might put it on YouTube. I don't know, but I thought it was so funny, and I felt so wrong for making it, but it fit so perfectly. It's been a while since I dreamed about the explosion. Looking back, those roaring flames feel like a distant, surreal nightmare. The searing heat in my dreams is still vivid, but the pain in my heart is gone. Maybe it's because the Aether core with me has achieved full power. To investigate and deal with the anomalous incidents related to the Aether cores, the association secretly began Operation Aether Ordeal. Over the past few months, we swiftly and discreetly handled numerous anomalies and documented information about a new Aether core. We termed it the Spadium core. After completing several investigations, I learned how seemingly unrelated issues were connected in surprising ways. Silas's brief absence gave the forces who coveted the Aether core in the N109 zone an opening. Xavier's former teammates who have gone separate ways possess cutting-edge proto-core technology, and their goals extend beyond just targeting Xavier. The strange black crystals are deeply connected to the old battle, causing Zane's nightmares to worsen. And with the watchful eyes of some secret observers, Raphael is forced to quietly search for the power sealed within the tomb of the sea god. When traced back to their source, these unrelated threads are connected to one massive entity, Ever. The limited amount of evidence we have also suggests that Ever was the true mastermind behind the Bloomshore District explosion. So at some point I'm gonna have to do Xavier and Raphael's branching storylines. Yippee! Are we back to that day?
It's been a week since the explosion in the Cascade District. The Farscape fleet still has that region under lockdown.
I wonder why.
No updates, no details revealed about the investigation. The public is demanding answers.
Is the new fleet colonel defying the Hunters Association by prohibiting hunters from investigating? Would you say tensions are rising?
Deal with those reporters.
Understood.
The entire garden has been blown to bits. Hey, rookie, go investigate.
Yes, Captain. Wait, why'd I say it like that? Oh my god. The fleet uniform doesn't quite fit me. I suddenly roll up my sleeves and push aside the rubble as I make my way into the garden. The energy trail I can resonate with is faint, but it's similar to the one belonging to an ether core. The source must be over here.
It's gonna rain tomorrow evening, and all traces will be washed away. Make sure to be done before.
Did you just walk away from me? The garden is in ruins. I bend down to dodge the fleet soldiers and crime scene investigators wearing white gloves on the other side of the hedge. It's right behind these bushes. The burnt vines twist through the vegetation. The silent oppression swallows even the faintest of sounds. Behind the layer of leaves and petals, it's as if a small hand darts among the tangled branches. I quickly reach out, but my fingers touch another scorched wall. That brief, vaguely familiar energy fluctuation ripples through the air before vanishing. I knew it. What does she know? What's this? Hunters Association, Skyhaven branch. A Metaflex explosion occurred at Villa Area 6, Cascade District, Skyhaven. 2 young siblings were home. One was injured and hospitalized while the other is missing. The parents are unreachable. The Skyhaven branch suspects an ether core at the site and requests assistance from headquarters for the investigation.
The dispatch request for the explosion incident has already been denied. And I know the details of this case are almost identical to what happened to you.
Leaning against the control desk, Jenna slides a holographic screen in front of my eyes.
Rushing to Skyhaven at this critical juncture isn't a wise decision. If I suggested you don't get involved for now, would you consider it?
I'm sorry, Captain. Seeing the glaring denied on the screen, I try to calm myself. But even if it's unrelated to that incident, it might involve the ether core. There's no reason for the association to object.
It's not them who are interfering. It's the Farspace fleet's doing.
The Farspace fleet?
Skyhaven is a floating artificial island that consumes a large amount of energy. The fleet controls its power supply, which grants them a substantial amount of authority. Their new colonel, who's still in the deep space tunnel, is concerned about the confidential information related to the fleet, and so he prevents hunters from investigating.
Why do I have an inkling that's kind of probably Caleb? Understood. I won't go as a hunter. I'll also avoid any conflict involving the fleet. Seeing my unwavering determination, Jenna shows a rare instance of exasperation. She sighs.
In other words, you'll encounter more than just Wanderers should you choose to enter Skyhaven. If you're sure about this, then I can approve your request for a long vacation.
Thank you, Captain. Looks like I'm going on a long vacation. That's not about to be a vacation, boys. The day I arrived in Skyhaven coincided with the new fleet's cadets reporting for duty. They formed a neat line along the transfer platform. While hidden in the shadows and thinking about how to blend in, I received unexpected help from a recruit who decided to desert. In exchange for my silence, I took her place and successfully moved into the temporary living quarters for new cadets. When tasks were assigned, I relied on those cadets' burning ambition for flight duties, so that I was left with the unwanted ground support role. And it happened. As a result, I was brought to the explosion site in Cascade District. I never imagined I'd find myself in Skyhaven for a reason like this. Caleb. A cold metal chain touches my neck. It's the necklace I once gave to Caleb. I miss you.
Find anything, rookie?
With a stern expression, the captain walks over. I come to my senses and shake my head. Captain, I haven't seen anything suspicious.
Keep your eyes peeled, and give it another once-over. If you miss anything, it won't be just you facing the consequences when the Colonel's starship returns.
Yes, Captain. I don't know what's with this new Colonel, since he's butting heads with the Association. It's better to avoid him. I definitely sensed an ether core earlier. If they blocked off the area because of it, I need to move fast. I have a question, Captain. Usually explosions like these involve casualties or people who are severely injured. How can there be individuals who have gone missing? How did the fleet confirm this? I also heard we weren't sent here to test the traces of...
Don't poke your nose in places where it doesn't belong. Mind your own business.
As expected, everyone in the fleet is keeping quiet about the circumstances surrounding the explosion.
Captain, a suspect just appeared. He showed up in HQ.
What did you just say?
The Colonel's starship will be on the HQ's runway in 10 minutes. Command issued an emergency order. We need to head back and deal with the intruder before the Colonel returns.
They're already here. If things get too chaotic, I may be able to use this to my advantage. Ooh, cutscene. So nice.
Colonel, everything is ready. We'll be landing in Skyhaven without a problem.
Do we have any leads yet on the traitor who almost sank us in deep space 3 days ago?
I'm afraid not. Maybe our navigation was off. It could have also been unexpected turbulence.
Would appease the traitor.
This trip was a test for the new fleet, Colonel. The old guard are looking forward to me not coming back.
What did I just say?
Unfortunately for them, I already danced with death once. I won't die again. It doesn't matter if you succeed or fail. You've chosen treason, so the consequences are still the same. You don't need to return to Skype.
You know, I know he's supposed to be intimidating or something like that, but with a voice like that, I can't see him being intimidating. Maybe scary, but not intimidating. Like, whatever you say, Pookie. I'm saying if she does not have the biggest crash out when she realizes who it is, I'm gonna be upset. Cause I would crash out. What do you mean I mourned over your fucking death and you're alive? You couldn't let me know that? At least give me some type of signal that you're alive. The fleet's command center is located in the highest guard station in Skyhaven. The island itself is surrounded by bright sunlight and cold air. A tall, thin man stands at the edge of the runway, his right hand raised high like a tree touching the sky. It trembles in the wind. The sniper had already taken position before we arrived. The suspect is clutching a detonator in his right hand, so they haven't taken the shot. Captain, He's wearing a fleet uniform. Is he one of us?
Storing weapons in his private arsenal and placing explosives in residential areas. Those are ploys to provoke outsiders so they'll be dissatisfied with the fleet and the new colonel. All units, the chance to prove yourselves is here. Pull yourself together, maggots!
I wonder who the suspect really is, and if he holds important info about this mysterious group.
They made me. The fleet forced me.
The fleet made him?
Look at the poor bastard. Driven mad by spending too much time in the deep space tunnel.
Are we sure that's all that it is? Because, like, he's saying y'all forced him to do something. I don't think... Well, I can't speak. I don't know.
Block all entrances and exits. Make sure no one sets foot on the runway.
Following the captain's order, the entire runway is quickly surrounded in an impenetrable net. Suddenly, a loud buzzing fills the air. Another cutscene! Woohoo! It doesn't look like there's an impenetrable wall anywhere. Under the spectacle of lights, the new fleet colonel, who's been widely discussed, steps out of the sleek black starship. In orderly fashion, he approaches the man at the edge of the runway. His words are muffled by the wind.
Joseph, you were chosen to be the pilot of a year-long deep space tunnel observation mission. Your outstanding performance 3 years ago was proof of your capabilities.
His voice sounds familiar. The crowd blocks my view, and I can only catch a glimpse of the figure through the gapes. His silver armband reflects a dazzling light.
You would have enjoyed the privileges befitting a skilled officer after your return. But 2 months ago, your wife and child died in the fleet's brig. Believing you revealed the fleet's secrets during your mission, you put your family under house arrest. They had died as a result. You're the person behind the Cascade District's explosion, yes? And you were trying to make a statement to the fleet by attacking its members.
You know why?
Why does he sound like someone from The Hobbit? Joseph sounds as if his vocal cords have been torn, his voice unpleasant to the ear.
And yet the information I collected tells a different story. After your mission ended 2 years ago, you were suffering from the effects of long-term exposure to cosmic radiation. Your memories were severely affected. Hence, you received a prescription for the psychotropic drug Cybazin at the medical center. But you went ahead and increased the dosage on your own.
Oh.
You probably weren't aware that a Cybazin addiction can lead to cognitive dissonance and confusion. That's why, after your overdose, you accidentally killed your wife and child.
Oh.
When you recovered, you created a lie to escape from the pain of what you've done.
He speaks calmly, and then everything becomes quiet.
No, that's not possible. You made me do it. You planted a mind control device in me. It's that chip.
Joseph's hoarse voice is interrupted. Reality instantly distorts behind him as a black hole appears, its edges blurred.
Enough. You don't need to defend yourself anymore.
Is he gonna knock him into the black hole? As soon as the colonel finishes speaking, the man and the detonator are consumed by the black hole in the blink of an eye. Ooh. It quickly closes, and the clear sky reappears once more. But now the edge of the runway is empty.
Lock down the command center. We still have an unidentified traitor with us.
Get out! Me, get out! Go! The order is cold, and everyone snaps out of their daze. My palms start to sweat. My knees are weak. My arms are sweaty. And my heart races. There's only one thought in my mind. I need to make a move. Whoever he's talking about, once they start digging, my cover's blown for sure. I need to make a move. Now. Since no one's paying attention, I quietly turn around, but before I can move, I feel as though 1,000 grams have been dropped onto my shoulders. I can't move. This evil is. Why does she always get herself into trouble? Why couldn't she say, "Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom," and then just mosey and just like never come back? It's your fault, girly. Kayla, please. I'm really just going out to buy some snacks. I'll be fine.
It's raining. And did you forget how you came back home injured? That was when you went out to buy snacks too. You should stay here.
Did he sit her down? It's also the gravity evol. Who are you? The sound of footsteps stopped behind me. A long shadow is cast.
Don't move.
I'm not trying to. I couldn't move if I wanted to. The moment the voice speaks, my blood freezes. It's not because I'm scared. I've heard this voice before. I know this voice.
I'll immediately start an investigation into her identity.
Why is he so far away?
No need. I'll do it myself.
My mind goes blank. It's as if the noise around me has been filtered out. Caleb. Me personally, I wouldn't have done that. I would have been like, you got me figgity fucked up. If you think I'm going on a fleet space. Homegirl really said I should stay away from the colonel. I don't know what's going on with him. And then willingly gets on to the fleet. Like, sister girl, I would have been like giving every excuse in the book. I have to go to the bathroom. No, you don't. Yes, I do. And then just like take the clothes off, put on normal clothes, put your hair in a ponytail, walk on your merry way, go to your house, lock the doors, and hope and pray that he doesn't find you. Actually, no, he already knows where she lives, so never mind. Lock the door, close the curtains, maybe have your gun next to you while you go to sleep, and then hope and pray for the best. And forces it in a chair used for questioning, restraints emerge from it to secure my hands and feet. At least that's what I would have done. I am a baby. I don't like doing stuff like that. This is the interrogation room of the fleet starship. Yes.
The Colonel will question you himself. Good luck.
I don't need luck. I need help. Get me out. After the door closes, a harsh incandescent light shines down from above. Are they trying to bake me? And another light behind the one-way glass window opposite of me turns on. I can only see a blurry figure.
I'll start asking the questions. Please cooperate.
What if I don't? What are you gonna do? Do I actually get to answer these questions? Because I'm gonna be so funny, it's not serious. The icy air in the interrogation room gnaws at my chest. I take a deep breath and try to calm down. Colonel, I'm a small fish. Why are you personally interrogating me?
You deceived the entire fleet with a fake identity. Can you really be called a small fish?
To be fair, that person deserted, and it doesn't sound good, but at least I showed up for her shift. So, like, what's the big deal?
Do you know what happens to people who pretend to be a fleet officer?
Murder? Death? By hanging? Despite figuring out who I am, you didn't attack me. Instead, you brought me to an interrogation room. Either I committed a more serious mistake than pretending to be an officer, or I have a secret that piques your interest. The light behind the glass wall flickers twice and the silhouette vanishes. He enters the room without missing a beat, his military boots touching the alloyed floor. Is he gonna grab her face?
If you understand the situation, then let's go ahead and have a nice chat.
Is it really you? Okay.
Shh. Show some respect to the Far Space Fleet's colonel.
That means he's definitely part of that group.
I could have told you
How
that,
can a
sister.
stranger look so similar to Caleb? I can't believe it.
Sir, have we met before? You seem familiar.
You're wrong.
But you look exactly like someone I know.
Watch your mouth. There's more than one pair of eyes observing you in this room.
The camera. If he really is Caleb, could there be a secret behind all
Can
this?
you back up, sir?
All right.
Smart move. Good. Let's get started then.
What is this?
An interrogation, of course, and a thorough inspection.
What do you mean, inspection?
That's...
Hey!
Once we're done here, I'll return it to you.
Oh, okay.
It belonged to someone from my childhood. He died in an explosion, like the one in the Cascade District. I miss him.
I wouldn't have said that last part. That's just me being petty.
Can you tell me something? If that person hadn't died, would he support me even now?
In the Far Space Fleet, there are only soldiers and officers.
Then, what about you? Will you support me?
Don't they think they're a little
Do what
too
you're
close?
told and don't cause any trouble. You won't get hurt then.
Why is he opening that? What is that? You take that off me. Unhand me.
It's a mood tracker.
That is not a mood tracker.
The cameras in this room will scan your iris and facial movements before sending the data straight
I'm
to
acting
your
like I
terminal.
know what the mood tracker looks
That,
like.
along
I
with the
don't.
monitor's information, will be analyzed to gauge your emotional stability. In other words, there's a catch. You can't lie, no matter what.
Oh, so I can't make funny little words?
It's necessary.
Fine.
Be obedient and it'll be over before you know it.
Obedience not my middle name. I'm sorry. You asked me a question. I'm gonna ask it completely opposite to what you asked.
Did you pretend to be an officer just so you could investigate the Ether Core? Be honest.
What? He knows about the Ether Core? But...
I don't know.
I told you before, you're not allowed to lie.
What is it gonna do? Hit me with the baton?
Recently, there was a large energy explosion in the N109 zone
That is true.
related to an Ether Core. At that time, you disappeared without a trace and didn't check in with any organization, but you weren't punished upon your return. Our intel suggests you were in the N109 zone.
Maybe that intel's wrong.
I don't understand.
Allow me to remind you that we are in Skyhaven. We're above the clouds, and even the World Evol government has to abide by the fleet. Your survival here, and your chance at being able to leave this place alive, depend on your honesty and willingness to follow my orders. I will ask again. Did you come to Skyhaven for the Ether Core?
Is he really Caleb?
I think that's the question you
Answer.
should be asking right now.
Remember, the camera is watching. You must tell the truth.
The camera. He's reminding me that there's surveillance, so I can't say anything.
I'm telling the truth. I'm not related to anything involving an Ether Core.
This is your last chance.
I don't know anything.
Even my
You
heart
passed.
was beating. Oh my god.
You...
Surprised? Sure, it's been a while, but you already forgot about me?
That's scary. Your emotions should not fluctuate like that.
You, right? Caleb.
Is there another me in the world? Did I scare you?
Well, yeah. My heart was beating out of my fucking chest.
Caleb. I must be dreaming.
It's me.
Honestly, I
It's
really would have wished
okay.
she had a crash out.
I'm back.
0 out of 10 already. Should have had a crash. Like, look, I get it. Emotions running high. She literally got interrogated. Heart was beating. Knees were weak. Arms were sweaty. About to throw up her spaghetti that she probably ate. I don't know. But like after that, I would have had a fucking crash out. I would have had such a crash out that they probably would have been like, okay, yeah, no, she needs to be put in like some type of solitary confinement for a little bit. I'd be crashing out.
Oh, don't be afraid. It's all right. From now on, we'll be living together.
Does this mean we'll never be alone again?
Yes. Starting today, I'll be your grandma.
That sounds concerning and creepy. Like she said, grandma. Like, what do you mean? In the empty void I see, everything is like a painting, white background that is seconds away from being drowned in a sea of color. There's one exception, the figure standing before me, who's strikingly clear. Who are you again?
It's okay if you've forgotten. I'll remind you.
He holds my hand. With a radiant smile, his eyes gleam like sunlight.
I'm Caleb. I'll always be by your side.
My mind returns to the present. All I can see is a grayish-white glow with a metallic chill. Caleb sits opposite me. He reaches for the first aid kit as he holds my wrist, which has marks from the strains earlier.
Most of the fleet's meds work immediately. It might sting. You need to tough it out.
His tender care is completely different from the cold, intimidating facade he wore in the interrogation room. Facade? Lady, look, I know that he's your childhood best friend, but that's not a facade. That's concerning. He needs help. Again, your emotions should not fluctuate like that. Not immediately. Maybe take a breath or two. Say, sorry I had to do that to you. It's me, Caleb. I know you have a lot of questions right now, and I can't answer them in this very televised space. But when we get a moment alone, I'll be able to tell you. That's what should have happened. What he did? Absolutely not. I would be concerned.
What's up?
I need to be sure that it's really you.
You still can't believe I'm back?
You died in front of my face. He gently holds my hand.
Do I need to do a formal introduction?
He meets my gaze. His voice softens as mirth appears in his eyes.
I'm Caleb. I'll always be by your side.
And that's creepy. No offense. Some people are into that. Those familiar words and kind voice are truly unique. I exhale, my racing heart finally calming down. You were scary in that interrogation room, but now... I shake my bandaged wrist and then slam my hand down on the bed next to Caleb. When he's about to stand up, I get in his way again. It's my turn to interrogate you. Alright, let's see. What choices do we have? What happened after the explosion? Why didn't you contact me? And you're a colonel now? How's grandma? No. You survived. Why didn't you contact me? And you're a colonel now?
Well,
what? He turns to look out the window. The night sky resembles a dark flowing river.
if I didn't join the fleet, I would have been abandoned.
Abandoned?
That's just how things work, Pipsqueak.
I oughta.
So, I couldn't contact you. I can't bear to imagine you being put through that pain again.
It's not the best crash out in history, but I guess that's okay. Caleb isn't exactly interested in explaining, so I don't press him. Whoa, whoa. Let's call the hypocrisy in the room, okay? So, when literally every other love interest has something that they don't want to talk about, she presses them, but because it's Caleb, she's not? Okay. What matters is that he's alive. Listen, I'm gonna say it right now. I don't care for Grandma. I don't. She knew what she was doing to those kids when she was experimenting on them. Now, MC don't know what he knows, but he knows what happened. So I don't care about her. I've always had that, like, suspicion that she had something to do with it. So, like, F her. What happened after the explosion? The police and the Hunters Association had said...
I don't really remember. It was like a dream, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. I remember
When I woke
something.
up, I assumed it was connected to the ether core.
So you already knew it.
I just knew. That's all.
Oh yeah, he's definitely hiding something. How's Grandma? If you're here, she must be okay too. I hate to tell you this.
I'm sorry. I couldn't protect both of you.
Oh, you know what? It makes sense because his evol is gravitational, so that means he could have probably made like a gravitational bubble around like maybe him and her, but he wouldn't be able to do it for all three of them. As Caleb's gaze loses some of its light, the faint hope in my heart breaks.
Alright, let's move on. You might start crying again if we don't. We finally reunited. If Gran knew, she'd want you to cheer up.
I'm sure she would. Caleb closes the first aid kit and stands up. He returns it to the cupboard.
After all that interrogating, shouldn't we relax? You've been running around all day and must be exhausted. Let's get something to eat.
Can I go home now?
Colonel, the captain of the 3rd Squadron would like to speak with you. He suggested solitary confinement for the traitor you captured.
I did say I should be in solitary confinement, but that's because I would be crashing out.
Come back to me when the bauble around his neck grows a brain.
Caleb, you're being really strict.
Strict? Me?
Why he gets so aggressive with me? I was just stating the obvious. His armband shines, maintaining his stern expression. Caleb returns to my side.
I haven't even disciplined you. And your cover's so good that you're living in the officer barracks?
Not really. Can't I just say that someone deserted their position? He helps me off the bed, cradling my injured wrist. He inspects my body from my shoulders down to my waist.
Pack up your stuff. You can stay at my place, you know. I don't live at HQ, so you'll have more freedom to move around.
Awesome, but I'm still a traitor to the fleet. It might be weird if I'm suddenly accompanying a colonel everywhere. He lowers my wrist and taps on the other one. Understanding his intentions, I turn around to let him check my back. It draws even more attention. Some people might even question your authority.
Hold on. Are you being considerate on behalf of your fellow fleet mates? Or do you actually want me to prove your guilt so you'll be locked up?
Crash out me would like the second option. Non-crash out me is going with the first option. Once the inspection is done, Caleb moves over to face me.
Don't worry. If anyone dares to question your identity, tell them you're my new adjutant.
Oh, so you wanted me to use your influence anyway.
It's an order.
What? Wait a minute! Oh my god. So literally the whole entire thing with Silas is that she does not like asking him for stuff. But look, I try to love each love interest equally. However, the obvious bias towards Caleb is not very cash money. I will always be biased towards Silas, but at least I show equal love to Zane and Xavier. He chuckles, taking off his hat. He places it on my head.
The Colonel's whereabouts are classified. The same goes for the people around him. If rumors could threaten me, I wouldn't be wearing this armband.
I'm about to have a crash out. Caleb's personal aircraft carries us away from Skyhaven's main island, and we go to the surrounding guard stations. Golden sunlight traces the crystalline lines across the viewport, and the cramped cockpit built for two. I tell him everything that happened when we were separated for several months. The researchers being killed one after the other, the documents Grandma left behind, and the Aether Core within me. Since Operation Aether Ordeal and the Spadium Core are confidential, I omit the details related to Association's investigations. Caleb, the one who's pulling the strings as ever. Behind his goggles, Caleb's gaze is unreadable. He grips the control stick and expertly guides the plane through the clouds. I understand. Let me deal with it now. 10 minutes later, the scenery projected from the starship's camera shifts to a floating, fragmented island. He has an island all to himself? Rich? Stretch under the wealth. The starship slowly descends and passes through an invisible barrier surrounding the landmass. In front of us is a spacecraft-shaped building. This is a really long chapter.
Here we are.
The white glow from the entrance lamp disperses the darkness. The entire room is flooded with light. I hang my bag in the closet by the entrance before running my hand along the cabinet. Look at all this dust. Caleb, you didn't invite me over just so I could clean your house, right?
This place is usually empty, and I rarely stay here. Of course, it's not exactly pretty. Move.
Holding a few jackets he took from my luggage, he lightly nudges my foot.
Only the toiletries are left. Go ahead and sort out your stuff. Oh, actually, hold on a sec.
After tossing my jacket aside, he takes my finger and presses it on the door's lock.
How long are you staying in Skyhaven? If you're not in a rush, why not extend your leave for a few more weeks?
Hunters don't get summer or winter vacations. Captain Jenna let me take some time off, but it's not because I don't have anything better to do.
I almost forgot. You already graduated from Hunter School.
New fingerprint entry completed.
Pick a bedroom you like.
How many does this place have if you're asking me to pick one? What if it only has one? I follow Caleb into the living room. The house is spacious, nearly empty in fact. The decor is simple and consists of muted colors. You know what they say about having a large house and not having anything that screams home. Are we all picking up what I'm putting down? Do we collectively have those brain cells in our mind? It's devoid of life. Are we picking it up? In fact, here, let me shove it in your face. He's a serial killer. Caleb, are you planning to live in Skyhaven?
Why do you ask?
Doesn't this mean we'll be separated again?
You don't want that to happen, right?
I do. I'll be busy since I'm a hunter. I'm just giving you a heads up in case you'll miss me. After navigating through several doorways, I stumble upon a bedroom with comfortable lighting. I stop before it.
Yeah. Without our wanderer-chasing hunter, we'd all be doomed.
You sure would. Caleb leans against the doorway and looks inside.
You like this room?
It seems cozy.
Okay then.
His lips curl into that familiar teasing smile as he heads toward the kitchen.
Think about what you want to eat for dinner, and your personal chef will make it.
Really? I catch up to Caleb and jump. I wrap my arms around his neck. Make all your specialties. Braised pork, sweet and sour fish, pork chops.
Do you actually want to eat all that, or are you just naming all the menu items? You have quite the appetite.
Honestly, braised pork sounds amazing. With my weight on him, Caleb pivots before putting me down.
You don't need to help out. Just relax in the living room. Oh yeah, just so you know,
I'm a serial
that
killer.
room you claimed is mine.
I figured. She didn't really claim the room. She just said it seemed cozy. After dinner, Caleb insists on clearing the table himself. He tells me to rest and he'll get my bedroom ready soon. So the bedroom that I claimed is his room. So is he getting his room ready for me to sleep in it? Is he going to use another room, or are we going to be using it together? These are questions that need to be answered. I hesitate for a moment before deciding to ask him about the explosion incident. I just leave it be, dude. Just as I reach the terrace, thunder roars from outside. The sound alone makes me jump. Maybe it's because we're closer to the sky here. Seeing Caleb's busy figure, I calm down a little. Caught by his gentle gaze, the words stick in my throat. I could only say a random sentence. I want a soda. Caleb steps aside, creating a path for me to get to the fridge. We all know which one I'm about to pick. Help me open it. I hold out the can that I took. Caleb silently stares at me for a moment. Then the metal tap is popped open.
You're putting my evol to good use like always.
We toast, our cans clinking against each other. Another roar of thunder startles me, however. I choke.
Still a scaredy cat?
Caleb can't help but chuckle. He pats my back, and as if recalling something, he looks out of the window into the night.
I thought you weren't afraid of it anymore.
What do you mean? Caleb sets down the soda and brings up a tablet that controls many of the house's utilities. The curtains are shut, which protects the room from the storm outside.
Remember your astrophobia from when you were little? Didn't you usually hide whenever thunder rolled in?
Maybe it was because thunder sounded too much like wondrous roars. I was still terrified of it months after the Chrono Rift catastrophe had ended.
At first, I thought you were playing hide and seek with me. But then I saw you were just frightened.
You always remember the minor details. But eventually, I became immune to it.
And who should we thank for that?
I look up. With his eyebrows slightly raised, Caleb grins, and reflecting on these memories, I pretend to be clueless. We should thank my resilience.
You ungrateful pipsqueak.
Caleb teases me and pinches my nose. Chuckling at my reaction, he lets go. Of course, I remember that whenever there was a storm, regardless of whether it was during the day or at night, he always stayed by my side. I didn't dare to fall asleep, but Caleb always covered my ears until I dozed off. The thunderstorms trapped him, the most popular kid on the block, inside the house, and so he had to seek refuge with me in various hiding places. No one else knew it was me that was trapped in the home, and Caleb was the one who broke that magical cage. Caleb, why were you always the first person to find me? It didn't matter whether I hid in that closet or the attic.
We probably have a telepathic connection.
Or he's probably obsessed with you, so he knows exactly where you're gonna hide. You just got lucky every time.
Yeah, and? Doesn't matter if I'm lucky or not.
It actually does matter. Sentimentality grazes my heart's surface. My hand that's resting on the fridge subconsciously twitches. Why do I feel awkward all of a sudden? I mean, isn't telepathy usually something twins have? Like the ones who are involved in this incident? Thinking of those two that were affected by the explosion, my voice lowers. Over the next few days, there wasn't any progress in finding Kevy, and his sister Mia is still recovering. Caleb,
You still want to investigate?
Caleb has read my mind. I hesitate for a moment before nodding. Kevy is still missing, and I need to know if Ever is related to the explosion. If Ever is related, there's a good chance I'll get important info that's connected to the ether core. Kevy might have already been marked as their target.
The fleet will handle it. And even if you doubt them, can't you trust me? Since you're on vacation, why not just kick back and relax in Skyhaven?
But Caleb... His sister must be worried sick about him right now. She probably wants to be with Kevy again. She's hitting him right where it hurts. You get it, sister, even if it was unintentional. I'm already your adjutant. I promise not to cause any trouble. If anything bad happens, I'll take full response. Ouch! Something hits my head, but it's not a light tap or a smack. Caleb has a serious expression.
What are you even saying? I always have your back. Don't even think about drawing a line in the sand. Take care of yourself. Do that, and you can investigate whatever you want.
So, after everything draws to a close, can you come home with me?
I remember you saying you'd be fine by yourself, but it seems like you still want someone with you.
I'll worry about you if we're always separated.
Is that the only reason?
He shifts his gaze down after suddenly using a softer voice. The fridge door is slightly ajar, and Caleb's hand rests on it. I'm seemingly trapped in this confined space. A cool breeze brushes against my shoulder. The faint glow from the refrigerator casts shadows in the depths of his determined, steadfast gaze.
Is it just because I said I'd always be by your side?
I mean, probably, I don't know.
I'm just messing around. What's wrong? Cat got your tongue?
Blood was not messing around. Feeling the tension dissipate, I pretend to be annoyed as I push him away and change the topic. Move. It's so cold being in front of the fridge. If I get sick, it'll be your fault. Amused, Caleb willingly backs off.
All right. I'll keep my distance. It'll be like there's an ocean between us. You stick to your side, and I'll stick to mine. Don't worry. You won't have to remind me twice.
And now he's sad. Caleb has returned to my side. I should be relieved, happy even, but I tossed and turned in bed that night. As I opened my eyes, the bright morning light filters through the curtains. A warm glow is cast on the bedside. After staring at the dimly lit ceiling for what feels like an eternity, I wearily get up. The house is silent. It seems Caleb just left. My breakfast, still warm, is sitting on the dining table. I notice a note tucked underneath it. Your highest priority is resting and enjoying your meal. Everything else comes second. I smile as I fold the note. When I sit down, I get a voice message.
Did you eat breakfast yet? I'll be sorting some things out with the fleet. I'll pick you up later.
I finish eating my breakfast while going over last night's plan in my head. Alright, it's time to visit that medical center. Willow Medical Center, inpatient department, 9th floor, room 903. Mia. Thanks to Caleb's support, I quickly find the place where Mia is recovering in. It's been said that Kevy and Mia are very close. She's the key to finding him.
I'm terribly sorry, Adjutant. The patient has just recovered from being in critical condition. Visits are prohibited unless her primary care physician authorizes it. This applies to fleet personnel as well.
Could I speak with the doctor then? The nurse looks me up and down. There's a hint of suspicion in her eyes.
Dr. Jones is busy with meetings with a visiting team of medical specialists. The earliest you can schedule an appointment with him is next week.
I understand. Mia is in a precarious situation right now, but with the hospital's strict security measures, her safety is guaranteed at least. I find myself walking to the elevator, and my gaze falls on the directory sign. The administrative office are on the 16th floor. Why do I have the inkling that she's about to go there? If Dr. Jones is in a meeting, he might be on this floor. The elevator's door open. While engaged in a conversation, several doctors step out. I guess I can only try my luck upstairs now. This is about to enter the elevator. A familiar voice cuts through my train of thought like a blade of frost. Zane? Zane? What are you doing here? The figure wearing a white lab coat turns around. When our gazes meet, he adjusts his glasses. Surprise flickers in his eyes. Is this the confidential schedule you talked about 2 weeks ago? Don't worry, I'll experience memory loss once I'm back in Lincoln. At the vending machine, Zane gets himself a latte. He gives me a bottle of pear juice.
If I'm not mistaken, a few days ago you said the association ordered you to take leave.
Yeah?
However, I didn't think a medical center in Skyhaven was a vacation spot.
You got me there. I'm not here to have a vacation. Well, he slightly tilts his head back to sip his coffee and frowns because it isn't sweet enough. He scans the department signs on this floor.
You don't have to explain why you're here. It's obvious.
And this is why I like Zane. I sigh and give Zane a rundown of the incident. I figured I could talk to Mia and see if she knows anything about Kevy.
Mia is no longer in critical condition. She should be able to receive visitors.
Well, that's not what the nurse told me. Do you know Mia?
Her primary care physician used to be my colleague. He mentioned her during his visit. Since Mia was exposed to a metaflux explosion, I checked her heart to ensure she's all right.
How is she now?
Her physical recovery is going well, but she was badly shaken by the accident. Mia still displays signs of avoiding the outside world.
So a hikikomori?
But you talking to her might help ease her nerves.
If it's possible, I'd like to try. Zane taps the folder containing medical records, then he looks at me.
Give me a second. I'll ask. Dr. Jones, do you have a moment?
He didn't even ask if you have a moment. He said, you have a moment. A few minutes pass, then Zane puts his phone away. Under my helpful gaze, his expression softens as he nods.
Follow me. I'll check on Mia's condition first. And if she's all right, I'll ask her.
After receiving the visitation guidelines, I take a deep breath and follow him into the hospital room. You know what? This may be messy of me to say, but I kind of want Zane to find out that Caleb's still alive, because I feel like he would reasonably crash out for MC. Because I mean, like, he saw like the trauma and like the emotions she was experiencing when that stuff happened. So just like knowing that he was alive all this time and that he didn't give her like even the smallest bit of hope that he was alive, I feel like he would reasonably crash out. As would maybe like majority of the interest would. I think maybe Xavier more specifically, because he lives in the apartment building, so he would probably, you know, see that she's like not coming out of her house as much or stuff like that. I feel like he would probably crash out too. In the pristine white room, a young girl around 10 years old sits on the bed. Her face is covered in bandages.
Mia, the nurse said you drank some milk today. That's good.
Mia turns her head without responding. With a blank stare, she looks out of the window. Zane crouches down by the bed. He gently touches Mia's elbow.
Since you listened to the doctor and the nurse, it doesn't hurt as much now?
The little girl slowly blinks, silently acknowledging Zane's words.
While waiting for the pain to go away, Do you want a reward?
I wanna go home.
Her soft voice, tinged with sorrow, resounds in the quiet ward. My heart feels a faint pang, as if that voice reached out to me, urging me to move closer. However, I hesitate, unsure of how to start a conversation. Seeing that Mia has noticed me, Zane speaks in an even gentler tone, which radiates reassurance.
She's my friend. A skilled hunter who saved many children like you.
Huh?
It's unclear which of Zane's words affect her, but she slightly stirs. Hello, Mia. Zane calmly observes, stepping back only when he sees Mia doesn't flinch at my approach. Do you want to talk? Mia hesitates and nods. Relieved, Zane and I exchange looks. Zane leaves the room. On his way out, he taps my hand, silently telling me not to stay for too long. Taking a seat beside the bed, I tenderly hold her hand. Mia, what you went through, I also experienced that. You must be really upset. Her small hand slightly twitches in response to my words. Do you miss your brother, Mia? Her empty eyes flicker with emotion. She's about to cry.
Is he dead?
Her eyes are filled to the brim with tears. Don't worry, he's probably just hiding.
But I always find him. I can't this time.
Your brother wouldn't just leave you. He probably got into a bit of trouble. Can you tell me what you saw before the explosion happened? I might be able to help. She stares at me, and just as she's about to speak, a knock interrupts us. A person wearing glasses and a dark-colored uniform enters. He has the Far Space Fleet's insignia on his armband.
It seems the Colonel forgot to inform us. What brings you here, Adjutant?
His scrutinizing gaze washes over me, and I look away. It seems today won't go according to plan. The Colonel has his reasons. Just do your job. I'll stop by next time to avoid any trouble. As I'm about to leave, Mia suddenly calls out to me.
Miss?
She retrieves a burnt dog plushie from behind her pillow. She sounds nervous when she speaks.
Thank you for visiting me. Can I give you Lucia as a present?
You sure can, sweetie. Lucia, is this dog plushie? Sure. I pressed it like 3 times and it wasn't happening. Cool mist rises from the lawn, leaving only a shadowy outline of the hospital's wings streamlined with white architect. I squeeze a dog plushie named Lucia. I'm genuinely puzzled about what Mia's intent is. Is this just a gift?
Have you made any progress?
Before I could, the fleet space came in there. Ruined my whole entire day, man. Zane sits down next to me. He gives me a cup that's filled with a drink. I don't know what it is, though. Is this milk tea? A health drink? Or fruit slushy?
Warm water.
Oh. He calmly looks over before lowering his head. Then, he gently squeezes the dog plushie's cheek. As usual, he delivers his dry humor with a straight face.
Furrowed brows, pursed lips, and a scrunched up face. All symptoms of severe dehydration.
Is that true? There's no way my face is. I quickly relax my expression, but my eyebrows furrow again upon seeing Lucia.
Mia clung to this plushie from the site of the explosion to the medical center. Now it's with you. What did she say?
She couldn't say anything. I said I'd help her find her brother.
Kevi?
Zane pauses, his thoughts drifting for a moment before he shifts slightly. His tone becomes more solemn.
Something or someone must be behind his disappearance. However, by getting involved, you'll have to confront people who are also searching for him.
Do y'all think that, like, Caleb's Caleb's there and he's just watching this from the sidelines? with the angriest face ever. I know. I feel like he is. I feel like he's just there watching, waiting, hoping that Zane leaves at some point. While the Far Space Fleet dealt with the culprit behind the explosion, the whole thing feels too similar to what happened to me. I'm not sure, but Ever must be involved somehow. Kevin must have something they're after, or there's a secret they're desperate to keep hidden.
The closer you are to the truth, the closer you are to danger. If you truly thought this through.
Once they make their move, there will be a second time, and then a third. I can't just stand there and watch the same tragedy repeat itself with these two.
Aside from Ever, there's another curious matter. I studied in Skyhaven and worked at Willow Medical Center for a while. As a result, I'm familiar with the general atmosphere of this place. But I've noticed how different it is from what I remember.
What are you trying to say?
The fleet. Back then, the fleet wielded a considerable amount of influence beneath a modest facade. They spent most of their time carrying out exploration missions in the deep space tunnel. A majority of the people who worked here for 7 to 8 years had never seen what their vessels looked like. This sort of large-scale operation where their forces have been deployed on the ground is unprecedented.
There's got to be another reason. Even if there's another reason behind the fleet's large-scale operation, with so little information available to me, it's hard to determine their role in this incident. I'll keep a close eye on the situation, but for now, I need to find Kevin as soon as possible. He's been missing for a while now and could be in danger. Zane nods and looks up at the dark clouds in the sky.
Did you find any leads?
It's been a week since the explosion. The fleet must have searched through every nook and cranny of the explosion site in their surrounding area. If they can't find him, Kevin must have been taken away by someone or hiding in an even more secluded place. While the latter seems unlikely, I look at Lucia's big white eyes. Did Mia give me a clue?
Let me take a look.
I give Lucia to Zane. He scrutinizes it for a moment before tugging its charred tail. There's a burst of static before a voice crackles from the plushie.
Where are you hiding? I'm done playing!
Mia, you're so silly. I'm in our secret base.
But we said not to hide in the secret base. You're cheating!
Noticing my surprised gaze, Zane places Lucia back onto my lap and strokes its head.
I've seen similar toys with sick children.
I knew it was a smart move to turn to a doctor. I carefully pull Lucia's tail and listen to the conversation again, then I realize something. Maybe Kevin hasn't been taken away. He might be hiding. Is the secret base his hiding place? I turn back to look at Zane and speak. Think?
Don't. I'm tired of hearing that.
I'll buy you dessert. When you're back in Lincoln, I'll buy you the latest item on Maltosio's dessert menu. I suddenly recall how Zane had taken several consecutive days off after returning to Chancia. It's something he rarely does. You've already used up some of your vacation time. Will you be busy later? I can get the dessert to go and give it to you at the hospital instead.
This is the first time I've heard of someone inviting another out for dinner by using a complaint.
I'm afraid I'll bother you when you're busy. Zane slowly leans back, studies me for a moment, and then reaches for the cup of warm water. His expression remains indiscernible.
I suppose what you need isn't water, but something that's more than lukewarm.
What do you mean? Noticing my confusion, Zane slightly tilts his head and responds with a smile that carries amusement and resignation.
We both have to deal with challenges, one after another. If we want to see each other, then there will be moments like this where we can sit together, no matter how hectic things get.
He lifts Lucia's head, and the plushie stares at me with its dewy eyes.
Once you help Mia, take some time to think about what you'd like to eat with me.
A 5-course meal with dessert and an appetizer. Following the explosion, the Far Space Fleet uses wanderers as their reasons for sealing off the area and evacuating all residents within a 2-kilometer radius. Maybe the week-long search has led them to believe Kevy is no longer in this neighborhood. No fleet soldiers are stationed here tonight. The charred gown reveals several footprints, all disorderly. Many have passed through this place. Kevy. As I enter a backyard, I see a scorched swing and a slide that's been reduced to a metal frame. I pause before carefully tugging Lucia's tail. If Kevy is still around, he might hear this. After a few minutes, I notice faint sobbing. Suddenly, a familiar energy fluctuation ripples through the air. Behind the shrubs, a Terran reality around a half-meter wide materializes. A timid little boy emerges. He's hesitating. Realizing I'm not his sister, he tries to run away, but I quickly call out to him. Wait, Mia sent me. The boy freezes. He turns around, but his head is still lowered. He's unwilling to meet my gaze.
You shouldn't come any closer. Don't look at my face. Have I become a monster?
Granulated crystals seem to be growing around his eye sockets, almost engulfing his whole face. A few months ago, I saw this phenomenon in the N109 zone with those monsters and in Chancia City. Maintaining my composure, I touch the crystals on his face. A sharp pain shoots through my palm, but the growth stops. Just as I thought. I've seen this before. You're not a monster. You're just ill and need to get treated as soon as possible. She's recovering in the medical center, and after the surgery was over, there haven't been any problems. I take Kevy's hand and wipe away his tears. I actually wipe them away. How is he even crying if they're next to his eye sockets? Right now, she's worried about you. Kevy, can you tell me what happened on the day of the explosion? How did you manage to stay hidden? The secret base you have with Mia. Comforted by my words, he stops sobbing. Slowly he withdraws his hand and reveals something to me. In the center of his palm is a tiny crystal fragment. This is another ether core. A familiar energy reverberates in my heart, and I slowly exhale. It's the last spadium core we've been looking for.
When the explosion happened, Mia and I were playing hide and seek.
Do you want to give that to me for safekeeping? I promise I'll probably give it back at some point.
I was in our secret base while she was outside. She couldn't find me. I was hiding for a couple of minutes. Then I heard a loud bang and blacked out. I was protected by this thing that Mom and Dad left.
Kevin looks down at his palm. The protocore fragment emits a gentle soft glow. Your parents left this?
Yeah. They also said I need to take care of Mia. And that I shouldn't be found and use this to hide whenever I'm in danger.
So this fragment can create a space, the secret base you and Mia talked about? Lowering his head, he nods.
After the explosion, I slept for a long time. And when I woke up, I wanted to find Mia, but there were people outside looking for me.
Who were they?
I don't know, but they were dressed like Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad said that when they're not around, I shouldn't trust those people or go with them. I can't trust anyone.
What were your mother and father dressed like? This must mean Kevy's parents knew there were people in the fleet who wanted to harm them. I bet other groups are also involved. At this point, letting the fleet find Kevy might not be for the best. I touch the black crystals on Kevy's face. He slightly flinches from the pain. But even if we only consider his health, Kevy can't stay here anymore. Maybe having him leave Skyhaven temporarily is the only way to ensure his safety right now. In that case, the Hunters Association, which has been kept out of these events since the beginning, will be a reliable safe haven. I know you're in danger and that you really want to see Mia now, but you need to keep this fragment safe and hold on for one more day. I'll make the necessary arrangements and return to you as soon as I can. Kevy is quiet for a moment. Then he pats Lucia's head and nods.
Can you tell Mia something for me? I'm okay. Tell her not to worry.
Go back into that secret base, kid. I'll be back. After leaving the area that's under lockdown, I call Zane. Zane!
Don't rush. Speak slowly. Did you find Kevy?
You bet your bottom I did. When his voice comes through the phone, it's almost as if a warm hand is soothing my troubled mind. Yes, he has a spadium core fragment. He's been using its power to hide himself. He's also infected with something that involves those black crystals, but his condition seems slightly better than what we saw in the patient at Chancia Hospital. In Chancia Hospital, Zane and I arrived at the preliminary conclusion. The ether core's power doesn't cause transformations like this. Someone is responsible for creating these crystal-related disease. And assuming that's the case, they're deliberately turning people into monsters. After I revealed this conclusion, we never really discussed before, the other end of the line is silent for a few minutes.
A few years ago, I witnessed something similar. That person was my friend.
Recalling my conversation with Zane in the Arctic, a guess forms in my mind. Was it the one who died on Mount Eternal? It couldn't be because...
Yes. After that incident, we learned that under extremely special circumstances, when Wanderers strike, their attacks cause energy crystals to grow in the afflicted area. They corrode the human body and grow a sort of shell over it. Once that happens, the victims can lose their sanity within seconds and uncontrollably lash out at anyone around them.
Some of the vague relationships between a few things become clearer. Zane's secret research, the small animals at Dr. Noah's home. Your research with Dr. Noah in the Arctic involves this, right?
It does. Based on your description, Kevy's transformation hasn't truly started. But it's hard to say if we should delay our attempts to treat it.
I have a feeling that if he stays in Skyhaven, something unpredictable and grave will happen.
I'll find a way to transfer him to Oxo Hospital and ask Dr. Noah to come back.
I was just about to ask that. When can you pick up Kevy?
The hospital can't reach his guardians, which could be a problem. I'll have everything arranged by tomorrow night at the latest.
Then I'll bring Kevy to you at the time.
There's one more thing. A necessary reminder, so to speak.
Don't trust anyone in the fleet? He pauses before lowering his voice.
Since Kevy has an ether core fragment, it's possible Ever will keep looking for him. When caring for others, you must be mindful of your own safety.
Sure. But before coming here, I thought I had grown stronger. I thought I'd be capable enough to handle the challenges that awaited for me. But I didn't expect them to become even more difficult. Fortunately, I've never had to face them alone.
Perhaps I'm also doing this for myself.
After the call ends, my beating heart finally begins to calm down. I look up at the moonlight hidden behind the dark clouds. The night is still, with no wind or rain, and the stars shine brightly. I suddenly wonder, is Zane also looking at the same night sky right now? The lieutenant's appearance at the medical center today means the fleet is keeping Mia under close surveillance. I need to avoid them if I want to bring Kevy there. Which means I need to keep this from Caleb somehow. During my trip back to the station on the floating island, the previously peaceful sky suddenly becomes dark and gloomy. Thunder roars in the distance. Why would you bring him to the hospital? Just let her know he's okay. Sometimes I wonder about her brain cells, because her brain just does not be braining. It might start raining again. My phone has several unread texts from Caleb. I didn't even read it. As I scroll through them, the fact that Caleb is back truly sinks in.
Everyone's on edge because of the explosion in the Cascade District.
The deep space tunnel's been acting up again, and more wanderers are showing up in Skyhaven.
I send over my location coordinates and then it starts to drizzle. That's not drizzle, that's pouring. I join the crowd under the overpass. The atmosphere grows heavy with an eerie chill. A figure clad in black, half their face concealed by a high collar, appears. Their greenish gray hair is loosely tied.
Excuse me.
Oh, he is Snake. For real, though. But they don't move. Something's off, so I move to the side. Can I help you?
Yeah, you can.
Oh my god. God damn it. This is the second explosion. All of a sudden, there's a small explosion nearby. The scorching heat throws me back a few meters.
It's a wonder!
Run!
I steady myself, covering my nose and mouth with one hand and waving away the smoke with the other. The stranger is still there. He pulls down his collar to reveal his face. With a forked tongue and white slit pupils, he grins mysteriously as if knowing this would happen.
Has anyone warned you that a unique hunter like yourself could get into some real trouble around these parts?
He moves like a grayish-green serpent. His fingers change into blades as they swipe past my cheek. I barely manage to sidestep him. He attacks again, aiming for my throat this time. He's tough and quick. I instinctively lean back and narrowly avoid those silver blades. I pistol whip him. Damn. The gun landing a decisive blow in his head. Hearing that satisfying sound, I know I did a good job. I turn around. Don't turn around! From the broken remains, wires and metal bits burst out along with a bunch of tiny bolts.
You're annoying. I can't hear anything now.
The man touches the broken part of his ear before tossing the short-circuiting implant into the drain.
If I take the ether core from you, I can trade it in for an ear with some nice bass. But
the scattered electro equipment is sucked into a metaflux surge as it spawns several strange-looking wanderers.
Oh, let them have some fun.
Is this some kind of transformation? I thought she was gonna say, is this kind of sick joke? My hand moves behind my waist. Amidst the dirt and rain, a bright red flash materializes. A wanderer that has lunged forward is sent flying back several meters. What attacked it was Caleb! An apple? Having found its mark, the apple continues on its gravity-defying trajectory. I turn my head. Cradling his phone between his ear and shoulder, Caleb grabs an apple from the paper bag he's holding. He throws it up and catches it in his right hand.
The supermarket wasn't having a sale on produce today, and my bullets aren't exactly cheap.
Caleb, that's a perfectly good apple. There's something else. I raise my gun and swiftly position myself beside him. I keep an eye on the wanderer approaching us.
This isn't a game. I won't let you charge in alone.
Don't underestimate me. I can pull my weight in battle just like you now. Ew, are we gonna fight together now? Yippee. Yippee-ki-yay, folks.
This one's tricky, but I know you can do it. Requesting full suppression gunfire.
Roger.
Time to change our strategy. It's only got half its health left. If you want to do a competition.
Of course. Watch me. You won't escape. It was just a scratch. Caleb.
Coming. Can't hold on for much longer.
Let's see who can land the finishing blow.
Requesting full suppression gunfire.
Roger.
I've locked onto the target.
Copy that. Is it charging up for an attack?
Usually happens any time.
My turn.
You should think before charging in.
No. Caleb.
Coming.
She never thinks, okay? Just saying.
You can't break our connection. Requesting full suppression gunfire.
Roger.
Now's our chance to strike.
You won't.
It recovered. Let's change our rhythm. Let's see you dodge this.
I think the funniest thing is how
Target
they
is
cut
within
each other
range.
off.
Commence encirclement.
Let's end this together.
There's a change in tactics. Stay cool. Sometimes I wish you'd let me be your shield. Requesting full
I
suppression
think she
gunfire.
wants no shield.
Roger.
Now's
She
our
just
chance
wants all
to
the
strike.
smoke. She never dodges.
You recovered.
I
Let's
tried
change our
doing
rhythm.
this manually before and it's hard, so I just let
Won't escape.
the AI do it, and then I get upset that the AI gets
You
hit
should
by
think
everything
before
in its
charging
mother.
I know. Bring it on.
Focus fire. Sometimes I wish you'd
Oh,
let
you
me
know what?
requesting full suppression gunfire.
Roger.
Now's our
I guess
chance
I
to
could
strike.
pull. Why don't we do that? After this, we're gonna pull.
Recovered. Let's change our rhythm.
I have like 76
I'll
of
show
the
you.
standard Wilson banner cards. Because I don't
Is it charging
use
up for an
those.
attack?
I'm running.
Requesting full suppression gunfire.
Roger.
Now's our chance to strike.
I'm gonna be so real. There's like 46
Target is
seconds
within
together.
range.
I mean,
Commence
46
encirclement.
seconds left. I don't think they're gonna get it.
Let's end this together. My turn. Steady now. We can do this.
You should think before charging in.
I know.
Fall back. You're already hurt. Don't be so reckless.
My bad. But I'll probably do it again.
Requesting
Oh
full
my
suppression
God.
gunfire.
I love that for
Roger.
her though.
Now's our chance
At
to
least she
strike.
knows. There's 22 seconds.
My turn.
I'd be surprised if they actually
Caleb.
did it.
Coming.
I mean, there's
You
like
can't
nothing really
recover.
I can do.
Let's change our rhythm. Let's see you dodge this.
Go back to the pit you came from.
I figured they were gonna get it. Well, anyway. Can I change that? Give me a second. Not that, idiot. I just said that. Oh wait, it's this one. I guess since now that I have Caleb, I guess I can go for his. Yippee. We'll get one of them potentially. Oh, I lied. I have 85. Let's see. You know, I used to get like a 5-star with one pull. That happened like 3 times for me and I was so excited and so happy, and then like it immediately stopped. I was like, oh, okay. My luck isn't that Gucci anymore. What's this? Oh, I can just get one? Love that for me. Oh, so I just have to do 100 pulls and then I can just get one for free? They're all Caleb. Oh wait, that's why. Duh. Good lord. Sometimes I wonder about my brain cells. I don't know which one this is. Neither does my iPad, apparently. I love that for me. It just cut off. Give me 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. And now I don't know which one I got. For shame. It's so loud.
Come say hello since you're here. Don't stand there in silence.
Hello, Zane. But which one did I get? Oh. Bar space deprivation is the one that I got. Should we do another pool? I mean, look, listen, I have 45, okay? I want to make it even. The 4-star is guaranteed. Well, you know what? I guess I can. It's not like I'm gonna do anything with these anyway. I'm gonna have them. I'm gonna save them up again. Oh, hello. Yippee! Is it gonna stop again? I got it again? Yippee for me, I guess. Oh, that was enough for me. This is where I'm gonna end it. I'm actually happy with how far I've gotten. This is so loud. I'm gonna... There's no way that I can turn it down. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you drink water. You're 70% water, so you have to replenish what you get throughout the day. Make sure you eat, and if you're not hungry, have something near you, just in case you get peckish. And make sure you get 8 hours of sleep. Everyone's circadian clocks are different, but that's fine. And I will see you guys tomorrow with Infinity Nikki. Bye bye!